What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, so you lost. Next time you win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Again.
I got bronchitis.
We'll play it twice in a row. Folks at home,
Ornery tonight.
How you doing tonight? I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know we are. Welcome to a brand new Ike Live show, and we have a good one for you tonight. We've got a little, I would call it a Bassmaster Classic, pre-Bassmaster Classic special lined up for you. It's going to be a good one. We've got special guests Brandon Cobb, Mike Suchan, over from Bash joining us first, second segment. Also going to be doing an MTB unboxing a little later. Let me intro the room real quick. We got a nice little gathering of folks tonight. Sitting in my left, co-hosting tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
Glad to have him back in studio, the one and only Riz, a.k.a. Rizzo, a.k.a. Rich. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Excited to talk to Mr. B. Cobb, Brandon Cobb.
Yeah.
Little pre-Bassmaster Classic convo going on.
It's going to be
tonight.
good. And
yeah.
here's the thing. We were saying this off camera. Let's say it on camera because it's true.
Okay.
Dude,
well, hold on. What are we going to say? We said a lot
about
off
Brandon.
here. Okay,
About Brandon.
all right.
So I've met a lot of other bass pros over the years.
Right.
And Brandon's a good dude.
He is.
Like, he's a good dude. Reminds me of, with his, like, positive attitude and just, like, happy and nice.
Yep.
Reminds me a lot of Aaron Martins.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously does. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
Not a bad bone in his body.
You're
and,
right.
And I think he's like that in his real life. I really do. I've met him
He's
enough
like that on
times.
purpose.
He's like that on purpose. He's a good dude. And
For sure.
and that's cool because
Yep.
there's a lot of dicks out there, probably
Holla.
me included. You know what I
Same.
mean? That have a lot of mean bones in their body.
Yep.
He doesn't. He's a really good dude. So I
Yeah,
can't wait to have him on.
He is, and, you know, it's you love to see guys like that succeed, and he
Exactly.
has. I mean,
Yeah.
he can absolutely flat out catch him. I'll
Yeah.
never forget.
Yes.
And Brian, I know you
Yeah,
know
I
this
love
one
it.
too.
Yeah.
When he caught the, what was it, an 11 off
The
the
giant
bed?
fork?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he swung and hit that fish. It like hit him back.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
never
love it.
Started moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still my
But-
favorite.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
That's going to live forever. That
Oh,
hook
yeah.
set, you know?
Yep.
Great thing
Yep.
In the
about
annals of time.
digital content and video. Also, back behind the booth tonight, we've got two of our favorite sons here at Ike Live. We've got Zako pushing buttons tonight. Jake, how you doing tonight,
How you guys
man?
doing? Doing pretty good.
Good. You good to be handling a little IMs for us, interjecting a little comedy? What are you doing tonight?
Questions are pouring in. We're going to hit you right off the bat.
Okay. Wow.
What do you recommend for Malaga Lake this time of year coming from Jamie Keene?
Recommend mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's February.
Stay
mow the
away
lawn.
from Malaga.
Clean the basement.
Yeah.
Do
Clean the
something
basement.
productive.
Don't go to Malaga. The boat ramp sucks.
Get your life together.
Yeah. We're not going to answer that at all.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, man. Appreciate the question.
Who was it?
Jamie Keene.
Jamie Keene. All right, should we tell Jamie, throw a rattle trap.
Yeah.
Throw you a gold rattle trap.
Yeah.
Throw you a crawfish-colored shallow diving crankbait. Also, throw you a little suspended jerkbait.
And if you catch three
If
in
you
8 hours, you crushed them
Dude,
that
you
day.
crushed them if you
Welcome
catch
to
three
South
bass.
Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throw a little gold husky jerk around. Now, I know the husky jerk people forgot
Oh,
about.
yeah.
People be sleeping on the husky jerk.
Yep.
Don't be sleeping on that.
On the ledges?
On the ledges.
Exactly.
Yeah, on the 6-inch drop out by the ledges. All right. And then, of course, producing the show tonight, and I give him a hard time all the time, but he's a great producer. One on
Round of
Brian
applause,
Carpenter.
everybody.
Brian,
Yes.
how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good, Mike.
You do a good job, dude. You do a good job. No, you seriously do. Think about it.
I could,
No, think about this. All these years.
You hear it, right?
No, no,
You-
seriously.
You do a good job.
You do a good job.
Like, no one even
Because-
asked you. You just,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
no,
just
you do a
telling
good
you.
job.
Well, you get a lot of shit, but I'm telling you. Listen, you never. This is not even your background. You never produced anything in your life,
Oh,
and you.
shit.
You've
I produced two
fallen in-
handsome, striking, articulate sons.
Well, you did do two sons, but you do a good job.
You
producing.
reproduced.
That's it.
You really do.
Thanks, Mike.
You do a great job.
Appreciate that.
This show is brought
Jake,
to you,
could you frame that
by
for me?
some amazing sponsors. Let me go through this list real quick. And we want to thank these sponsors. Listen to me. As I read this list, if you're watching and listening right now, go out and support these companies because they make the show possible. If you go out and support these products and they see a return and they're like, oh, yeah, they're watching Ike Live. They're talking about the product. They're using the product. That's going to help us, okay? Mystery Tackle Box, of course, you see them right here. We're going to be doing an unboxing a little later. MTB is a great product. Go check them out. Founders beer. Dude, Founders is great. I'm a beer lover. I like a lot of beer, but Founders got some great ones. Tin Cup Whiskey. We started the show tonight, even before we went live, with a shot of Tin Cup. We're drinking the rye. It's great. Tackle Warehouse, Hobie, Ike Foundation. Thank you guys for making the show possible. Brian, I want to get right into this show. What do you think?
Yeah.
We're going to do this a little different. We're going to get right into the show. We're going to talk some current events, and then we're going to get a Powerbait Paul. And let me remind you,
you want to go Powerbait Paul first?
we're going to do Powerbait Paul right off the giddy.
Okay.
But we're going to do some current events. Before we do that, though,
Current events.
let me remind you. Listen to this. This is important. If you're watching right now, if you're watching over on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook via the Bassmaster share, and if they're not sharing it, I'm going to be really mad. Like and share the feed. Like and share the feed. If you're watching us on Facebook, like and share the feed. If you do that, Zako, what do we got? We're going to be giving this thing away
We're
tonight.
going to be giving that away. We got an
Yeah.
MTB giveaway. We got
Yeah.
a lot of giveaways.
We got a lot of giveaways tonight. So if you're-
Actually, just them two,
okay.
right?
All right. That's cool.
Maybe.
Rich, you got anything to give away?
Rich is giving stuff away,
I mean,
too. Everybody's giving stuff away.
yeah.
tonight.
You ain't getting it, but I'm giving it away.
But
All
seriously,
night long, every 20 minutes.
This
Nothing.
bag is world class. It's loaded with our sponsor products. Weighs about 20 pounds. Like and share the feed if you're watching over there on Facebook. You're going to be entered a chance to win that. It's going to be really good. Let's. I do want to real quick acknowledge our military, men and women, active and veterans. Thank you guys for what you're doing. The world is absolutely crazy right now, dude. Firemen, policemen, EMT. Thank you guys for what you do. But let me ask you this, dude. Is this a little? I'm not going to ask you, Riz, because you're younger. Brian Carpenter.
Yes.
Is this a little? Do you feel like a little throwback from the '80s? Do you remember in school in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade when there was a real fear of a world war? Like I sort of a little bit remember that.
Is that what's going on?
Dude, I don't know. There's shit going on all over the world. People bombing.
You know what
happened?
happened? You know what?
About Russia.
If you don't turn your TV on, it's not happening.
All right. Well,
I
it's happening.
promise you.
It's happening.
Is it really happening?
Yeah, it's happening. Russia's fucking bombing over there.
And where's that? The other side of the planet?
Nah, they're fucking
Globe?
What do you call?
I don't.
Their neighbor there.
I'm tuned out. bud.
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allies.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm a little freaked out, but
I
very reminiscent of me.
I think
too.
I think it's all contrived. Dude, I'm 50. I turned 50. Thanks, Mike. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you, Brian. 50.
We're always at war with somebody.
That's true.
Dude, come on, knock it off.
No, we are at war with somebody.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bunch of shit.
All right.
They're
So
like
you don't
selling-
believe it?
No, they're selling bullets.
Okay. All right. They're selling boats. All right.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't.
No,
mean to
that's all
go
right.
that route.
I
It's just
feel a
really
little reminiscent of my younger days. All right. Let's.
Cold War stuff.
Yeah, Cold War stuff. I want to catch up with a little current event. I want to start with something that's borderline controversial. And let me remind you, if you're watching, listening right now, hang in because we got Brandon Cobb coming up in just a little bit, and we got Such coming up a little bit after that. We're talking Bassmaster Classic. It's going to be a great show. But before we get into that, current events, Riz, weather delays are the story here for the last the derbies that are still going on.
Yep.
Okay, if you're watching, listening right now, you don't know, Major League Fishing was in their what do they call it? Suicide round, or
Yeah.
next to the
Whichever
last.
round, you
Right.
can't keep up with it.
Yeah. So MLF was in their elimination round,
Yep.
right, to go to the finals. The weather was terrible. Don't get me wrong. The weather was terrible. I saw ice. I saw cold. But they canceled the tournament after it already started. So the whole third period was canceled because of weather. And I'm a little miffed by that.
Right.
Just as a fan, just as a viewer. Okay.
Wait, so how bad was the weather?
Well, it was in Texas. They're at Lake
was
Fork. It
stuff
was
we fished in.
definitely bad. It was definitely bad. Look, I'm not downplaying the weather. I saw Ice. I saw Brian Thrift in the live video dunking his rod, stuff we deal with a lot, right? But they canceled the event into the event, right? And I'm going to say this as fact, and I don't know this for fact, but I'm going to say this fact because I fished over there for a few years. They canceled it because of production, because
yeah,
the camera guys were cold, because the camera guys, it's not safe.
It's the safe thing,
Right.
in my opinion.
They cancel it, okay? Then I wake up this morning all excited to watch NPAA, MFLF, FLMFA, whatever it is.
Yep.
Canceled. Weather.
2 days.
2 days! Like, going ahead and, like, looking at the crystal ball and making a prediction that it's going to get worse. Let me just say this. I am really against this cancel culture that we're in. I hate it. I think it's wrong for the sport. I think it's disrespectful to the anglers. I don't care how many anglers come out and say, oh, it was a good decision. Safety. Bullshit. Bullshit. This is fishing. Go fish. Put your big boy pants on and go fish. We're in a sport where we deal with the elements and nature of what's thrown at us.
Yep.
Dude, it ain't that bad. I've fished many a days like that.
Especially if you want to grow the sport.
If you want to grow the sport, go fish.
Yeah.
Stop being pussies and go fish.
They,
Yeah.
they don't have to run to the ramps either. When they're done fishing, they can pretty much sit there, wait out the storm.
I think a lot of
bad.
it's social media, right? Because
It's
now
bad.
everybody has a voice, and people that quite honestly, shut the fuck up, have a voice, and it's heard, and the whole say, if it saves one life, man.
I hate it.
People are not an endangered species. That's coming from me, not the reflection of the show. But geez, come on, let's go.
I hate it.
Let's just live.
I think one of the great unique things about the sport was that it's you against the fish.
And that means the weather.
That means the weather.
Everything
it's
is
a
involved.
game.
Dude, when we have Bob Soley on or some of the old school guys, and they talk about the stuff that they did.
Oh, yeah.
And oh my God, they're the best freaking stories.
It's the best. It is a unique aspect of our sport.
And it's the real. That's really fishing. Like going out and fishing under picture perfect conditions. That's not real fishing.
It's not real fishing.
Like even locally here, we fish under conditions that it gets straight up gnarly, on our bodies of water. But that's just the way it is. Like you deal with it and you fish through it and you figure out how to get it done. But like just this trickle down effect of like, oh, it's a little bit
it's
cold.
It's a litigious society. There's always somebody else to blame for.
It's just like like
I blame the lawyers.
What are we doing? Like
Taylor Stewart.
Where are we? What direction are we going with this? Like how far are we going to take it to where we're just like complete soft?
I agree. And if you're watching and listening right now, chime in. Hit up Jake and let us know what you think, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Maybe I'm totally off base. Maybe I'm wrong. But I hate it because I love that pure aspect of fishing, and it's gone away. We're becoming like golf. We're becoming like those other fair weather sports. I don't want to be that. I want to have an even playing field. Go fish. You know what I mean? Go fish. Don't alter the game.
Yep.
Don't alter the game. Let the game go, man.
Especially at the professional level. Like these guys are professional anglers that have been on the water for however many days a year for the last 20 years. Like if there's anybody in the world that can be safe under these conditions, believe me, it's them.
Oh yeah.
Like so.
Oh yeah.
Let's get out there and compete. Stop canceling shit.
And there's no co-anglers.
No co-anglers.
So
no co-anglers. No.
I guess marshals or whatever, kind of got that, but
I mean,
they're getting paid to do a job.
You all sign a piece of paper. You sign a piece of paper, and you
gotta go.
You go. But whatever.
I agree.
Yeah, that was first update. Second update. I did want to get into a little bit the Bassmaster Classic Ike Live After Party. I'm very, very excited about this, Brian DeCarpenter.
Yes.
Of course, we're all going to be there. A lot of us will be there for Bass University. The Ike Foundation, of course, is going to be there. So we'll have a lot of presence there for the event.
Presence?
But, dude, this is a fun night. The Ike Live After Party is a fun night. I cannot wait. I'm very excited. So let's make an official announcement here, Brian. Do we have it written down anywhere besides that right there? I guess that's it. But I want to tell you that
That's a good point. Yeah,
Sunday,
the details, right?
the Sunday of the Bassmaster Classic, which can somebody give me a date here real quick off the top of their
Today's
head?
the 24th.
Is,
Sixth.
26th.
It's the 6th.
The 6th.
Yep.
Okay.
6th.
Sunday, March 6th, starting at 7 p.m. till we close that John down.
That's right.
I'm talking about midnight, 1, 2, 3. Who knows?
Who the?
We're going to be at Barley's, BARLEY', Barley's in downtown Greenville. It's about 5 minutes from the host hotel. Man, if you're going out to the Classic right now, if you're listening to this, if you're like, look, I'm going to be out there anyway, look for something to do that night, come hang out with us.
Yep.
It's going to be great, dude. We're going to have some great giveaways. It's going to be free beers for the first part of the night.
That's what?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be
Founders.
drinking Founders like it's crazy. Come out and hang out with us. And this is what
Lee Livesey's going to be in a dunk tank.
Lee Livesey's going to be in a
That's true. You get out.
We're
Put
going to have
$3 up. You get 3 balls to throw.
Caleb and Matt Robertson are going to wrestle again.
Here's the thing. I don't want to say any names, but you're going to see some other pros there. You're going to see some other fishing pseudo-celebrities there. Just come out and have a good time. That's the thing, dude. The thing I love about this is this ain't one of those Johns like I watch on, you can look on your social media and you see like a baseball guy or a UFC guy after his fight. They have an after party at a Vegas club or something, right? And they're roped off from the general public. Nah, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna be hanging out.
No, you're gonna be pinned down by a line of dudes that want to show you the look, Mike, look at my 3-pound bass I caught.
Yeah, look at this crankbait. But no, we're gonna be hanging out.
See my fish, Mike.
It's gonna be a great time. So once again, Ike Live after party the Sunday after the Classic. What did we say? The 6th.
Yep, the 6th.
Sunday the 6th, 7 p.m. at Barley's in downtown Greenville. Sponsored by Founders. It's gonna be a great event.
Oh yeah.
I want you to go there. Let's got one other thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to get Powerbait Paul on. Dude.
He's fired up.
I haven't had a chance to talk to Paul yet. I'm excited
dude,
about
Paul's
this.
great. And Riz, Paul is our special correspondent, Ike Live correspondent this year.
I love it.
He's going to be keeping us abreast
Yep.
of what's going on
Got
here
that
in
big
South
bass
Jersey.
energy.
Yeah, new lures. He's going to be talking about everything. We're not even
I like it.
We're not even limiting Paul to fishing. We're going to let
Predictions.
predictions.
Okay.
Maybe we'll ask him about what's going on in
Ukraine.
Russia.
Yeah.
In Ukraine. We're going to be, Paul's our correspondent. So,
All right.
So fair game. But I do want to tell you my first 2 events. I want to give you the good, the bad, the ugly. But the positive is this. Dude, it felt good to be back.
Oh man, right?
It felt so good to be back.
Go ahead.
Even my first event, which I sucked, probably one of the worst terms I ever had in my life.
Probably
was.
Yeah.
Was it my lowest finish I've ever had? I wasn't dead last. I was next to last.
Yeah, man. I don't ever remember you having one that
No,
bad.
but listen, even after that, like I was pissed off and mad and all that.
I could imagine.
Because,
Yeah.
but it still felt nice to be back. Like I want to give you a real life example. Like second day I only weighed 2. I came off stage pretty dejected. But when I came off stage, dude, there were real life people there.
Yeah.
Like it was so freaking nice. Like little kids, old dude, some lady. I saw one of my books. Like, I don't know. I talked to like 30 people before I made it back to my boat. And it was like.
Isn't that amazing? On a day where you didn't catch him, like, still, like, that's like the thing. Like, it's so hard as an angler. Like, I crush myself if I go to the scales without 5.
Oh, yeah.
But then I think about it, I'm like, nobody gives a shit. Like,
Well,
especially like at a local tournament.
Yeah.
Like
The bank does.
I mean, it felt good to be back in that environment.
Yeah.
And it felt good the first one when I bombed. It felt good the second one when I did
to bounce
better.
back, yeah.
It felt good to be in that environment. And I mean, the whole process, dude, like catching fish, swinging them.
Yeah. Boat flipping them.
Boat flipping them.
Yeah.
Body slamming them.
The process of culling. At the end of the day, pulling up, throwing them in a bag.
Yep.
Oh, God, I miss those things, dude. It felt so good for my soul. Like just the whole thing of talking to Mercer. I had a live feed on me for a little bit on the second tournament. That was awesome. Just like that
Running
stuff.
out, like the just blast off, getting your
Oh,
number
yeah.
called,
The
coming
blast
back
up,
in, like
coming back in and having to beat the clock.
Yes,
That
yes.
feeling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that gives me
Yeah.
so working there. We were there
Oh,
with
yeah.
BU,
Yeah.
and so I was there for takeoff and obviously working the event when the boats were coming in. dude, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Seeing takeoff and then seeing you guys come back in, like. I told Pete, I'm like, hey, when this is going on, like, I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm freaking out inside.
It just
That's cool.
The 2 weeks there felt so right to me.
Nice.
You know, it was really nice to
And
be
it was
back.
Florida. You struggled there.
How was the
so-
crowd at
Florida.
Harris?
I struggle there. The crowd at Harris was pretty good. I would say it was
Weekend, they
yeah,
filled up.
I would say that last day there Saturday was pretty packed.
Should have sent me, Pete.
It's pretty good crowd. But
Yeah,
very,
Peter.
very excited to be back fishing bass. I feel like I've got my momentum back.
Yep.
Hopefully, I keep having some good events.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't feel the pressure. Like, let me try to say this the right way so I don't mess something up here. When I was fishing bass before, I had this underlining pressure that I had to keep making classics because I had this streak.
Yes.
And it was like, man, I can't break the streak because I had the longest current streak going.
Yep.
And I didn't I just felt overwhelmed by it. And if I had a bad event, it would crush me. Like it was like my life was over or something.
Yep.
I had a bad event, and like I said, I'm still mad.
Dude,
I'm
the
still
weight
pissed off.
of
I'm
that
competitive.
that streak.
But dude, it doesn't even matter anymore. And I'm serious, Brian. It doesn't matter. Like I want to make another classic. It'd be cool to fish another classic, one or two.
Oh, it's gonna matter.
But I don't have to. I don't have to. Honestly, I don't have to. No, what does have to happen is I want to win another event. I'm going to win another one of those blue trophies.
Yes, going to
And
win another
I'm
one.
going
Love
to
that.
win another one, right? And I'm
Not
not saying
want
it's
to,
this
going
year.
to.
I am going to.
Yeah.
But once I win one more trophy, I honestly feel like that's my okay to bow out. I'm not saying I will. I'm not saying I will.
Will bow
permanently.
out. Right. You're not saying you definitely
not
will
saying I
retire
will.
at that time. Right.
But that has to happen
Yeah.
before I'm ready
So-
to wave that flag.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I've thought about this before.
Yeah.
But what you just explained, about the pressure building up on you.
Yeah.
I remember when Anderson Silva was, the reigning king in the middleweights, and
Silva.
and Chris Weidman knocked him out.
And
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Connor KO'd him.
And he got, dude, he had the record forever. He was the GOAT,
Yeah.
and when he, got the microphone, he was like, you could tell he was relieved. He just got knocked out and
He's
lost
like,
his
thank
title.
you. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
It was. You could see the dude was relieved.
Oh, yeah.
And it was wild.
Yeah.
Only thing I can relate that to is when you're on a hot streak in beer pong and you're on the table for 11 games in a row and then you finally lose and it's like, all right, now I get to relax.
Right. That was stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
I like to add when you had your announcement that you were coming back.
Yeah.
You said 5 years, maybe a retirement.
Yeah,
Then
5,
I'm
10,
watching Instagram
2.
and now it's 10:15. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
are we pushing Clun's record here? Or?
Nah, I'm definitely not going to go to Clun, but I do want to win another trophy, and that's like a must-have.
Yeah.
And once I have that, and then so let me tell you this, and then we'll get Paul on. The opposite side to all that felt good, felt right, all
Yep.
that. The opposite side was, and Brian, I know you can relate to this. The opposite side was, it sucked being on the road for 3 weeks, gone from Becky and the kids.
Right.
It sucked. And, there were moments, especially after that first bad tournament,
Yep.
where I just, kind of talking to myself, I said, man, did I make the wrong decision? Coming back, seriously, I did say that a few times to myself. Because I miss them, you know what I mean?
Right.
I miss being home, and I miss waking up every day, and I miss going to Vegas a soccer game or Stella's field hockey game. I miss that shit,
this might be something that I should maybe bring it up on the second segment too, but so when you were coming in from the St. John's and you obviously had bad tournament.
Oh, yeah.
You're coming in, and when I see your boat come in, I would walk away from the booth, try to get eyes on you, and just by your body language, I could tell what was going on.
Yeah.
But I could also
Score
see
tracker
that,
wasn't lying.
Yeah, I could also see that, on your way in, do you talk to Becky pretty much right after the tournament?
Oh yeah, I usually call her on the idle in.
That's what I noticed because I
do.
noticed you're on the phone, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like who in the? I'm like, he's got to be talking.
It's a
to
ritual.
Becky.
It's a ritual. So I call her.
How
in the
important
morning.
is that?
That's important for me. For my for my mental well-being and
Right.
and for
And is it good tournament or bad tournament?
good
It's-
tournament or bad tournament. I call her in the morning before I blast off, and I call her in the afternoon when I come in.
Gotcha.
And I just let her know that, look, here's what happened today. And part of it's this. I want to let her know I'm safe too.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I've been in events where I've crashed a boat, and I've been in events where
Put one in the woods.
I put it in the woods. I'm locked out of the lock and I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it is ritual, and it does feel good to talk
Gotcha.
to her, and
Gotcha.
she helps me get my head right.
I just want to apologize. I meant bass track.
Bass track.
I think I said score track.
Oh, did you say score tracker?
That's what Jake told me.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Powerbait
All right,
Paul.
let's get Paul on. I'm
excited
excited
about
to
this,
talk
dude.
about. I'm excited to talk
Let's
about
go.
Paul. To talk to Paul, and if I'm correct, Brian, this is Paul's second appearance, straight appearance on Ike Live, and we're gonna two, yeah, and we're gonna have him on every show. So joining us now, special Ike Live correspondent, the one and only, you know him, Powerbait Paul. Paul, what's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Not bad.
It's good to see you.
So, yeah, you too. So excited to be back. So excited.
Well, it's good to have you
And,
back. It's good to have you back on. Tell me about the weather, man. Topsy-turvy here. Warm, cold, warm, cold. What's going on here?
That's New Jersey for you. I mean, it's like the other day it was sunny and it was like 70 degrees. And, of course, I was too busy. I couldn't get out there to go fishing. And today, I've been grinding all winter, all year, nothing, not a bite. Today, I got my first fish of the year.
All right.
Largemouth
Yeah.
bass.
I saw it. Now listen, if you're
First
if you're watching right now, and if you're listening, if you follow Paul, hopefully you do. Go over on Instagram, follow Powerbait Paul. He's got a great social feed. Paul, I saw it, and when I saw it, and I'm just being honest with you, okay? I choked on my own spit when I saw that photo because I saw you catch that fish on. It's been a secret of mine for a long time. It's been a lure that's in my.
Yep.
I call it my panic box. But tell everybody what you caught that fish on, and tell me why this lure. When fishing sucks, why does this lure still catch a few? What is that thing?
All right. Well, I'm going to be honest to you,
Yeah.
Mike. During this time of the year, I don't target just largemouth bass like I do in spring, summer, and fall.
Right.
I target whatever will bite.
Right.
You
You
know,
want
it's
to
cold out.
you want something fighting back. Yeah.
Exactly. I just
Yeah.
want to catch a fish in wintertime, And this is my number one all-time favorite multi-species lure that anything that swims will bite it. The Vibrax Blue Fox Spinner.
Inline spinner, everyone. Inline spinner.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
This is the half-ounce one. Now I try going bigger. The smaller ones, they're nice for like stock trout, but they're too small.
Yeah.
This one, and dude, listen to this. Last year, where I caught that bass today, it was like a small one, maybe a pound, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Last year, I caught my first two bass of the year last year, a 3-pounder and about a 2-pounder. Same spot, same spillway, same lure. Vibrax Spinner.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, now I
Nice.
got to say this to you because I know there are people out there listening and people watching right now that are saying, that Paul's a pussy throwing a spinner.
Stop it.
Who throws that spinner's for live bait guys? That's a junky lure. But I don't believe that. I don't agree with that.
Clearly it works.
Answer those people. What would you say to those people saying bullshit on that inline spinner? What would you say to those guys?
Well, it caught me a bass, didn't it?
Yes.
Got a bass on it. Honestly, it's like I'm a creature of habit. I will admit it. I always go to the same spots when fishing gets tough that I know produce fish in a certain time of the year. And the spinner, I don't normally throw that, in the summer and the spring when I can be using spinner baits and top waters. I throw that in the cold water for some reason.
Yeah.
Cold water, spillway, the bass love it.
Wow.
Honestly, now get this, Mike. I've been fishing since I was 12, almost 15 years. My first fish every year is almost always a chain pickerel. This is my first time ever. First fish of the year was a largemouth bass.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That had me happy.
Paul, that's
Well,
important, man. Like getting that first fish under your
Yeah.
belt. Like, dude, this year.
Yeah.
So I went out this year on New Year's Day, and on New Year's Day it was like it was raining all day long. And it was warm, but it was January 1st. Like, it's not that nice.
Yeah.
But, like, had to go get, like, the first bass under the belt and, like, get it going. Because last year I waited forever, and I kind of had a shitty year last year. So
superstitious.
Paul, good shit, man. Way to get that one under the belt.
That is good. And I like that particular brand. Paul, I'll be honest with you. I carry a lot of different ones. I carry Panther Martins, which are a little different blade design. I also carry Rooster Tail. A little bit different blade design, but I like the Vibrix a lot. The one unique thing I noticed in that picture, and hold it up to the camera again if you can. Brian Carpenter?
Yes.
Blue body on this bait. Blue body.
Silver blade.
Very interesting on the blue body. Very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is, you know how, like, especially with rooster tails, a lot of them have like fancy feathers and gadgets hanging from the hook or the things here. It's all metal. You know, it's just a plain blade, the bullet-shaped body, and the treble hook. Yeah. Simple. You know, sometimes simple is the best option to go with.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever throw them on, like, schooling fish in the fall when they get on that real little bait?
Oh, I have. I've thrown them on schooling fish.
No shit.
Dude, when you're on little bait, that can be the deal. And when fishing's tough, they're not biting a big spinner bait.
Yeah.
That can be the deal. I like that. All right, Paul.
We got a comment on the message board. Wawa Hoagie Lady says, Paul looks like Keith Cowan with the goatee.
Oh.
Kind of true, right?
Keith Cowan look like.
Rich?
It is. And clearly they both catch them. So.
And they got that same shape and red.
Yeah. Might be related.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Unique.
All right, Paul, I've got a question for you, and I want you to seriously answer this for me, if you can. Okay. So I had my first 2 bass events back at Bass. Felt nice. Felt really good to be back. My second one was on Harris Chain. I had a really good tournament, figured them out. First one on the St. John's, I struggled. Man, it was a tough event for me. I didn't do very well, finished very near the bottom. Paul, I want you to give me advice. If you were fishing that St. John's River tournament, so we're talking about pre-spawn bass, tannic water. To be honest with you, a lot of what I fished looked like South Jersey. It was very similar conditions. What would you have done? What would you have done in that situation, Paul? Give me some advice, because I want to hear your take on what I should have did in that St. John's tournament.
All right, so I'm a bank guy. I've never fished from a boat, so I will say that I would throw in like spinner baits and find some wood and drop some jigs around the cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one thing, you know, they love moving water. You know, they love current.
Yeah.
And I would just throw something flashy, like, you know, the spinner, you know, or whatever lure is not working. You know, it's not getting any bites.
Yeah.
Put on something else. You know what I mean? Or find that one lure. It could be a spinner bait, could be a Rapala DT crankbait that, you know, no matter what body of water you're fishing, the bass will find it. If they're not biting it there, change the spot, move up a river. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a pond hopper, so I love moving spots. And sometimes I get so caught up in counting on this one pond to produce fish for me that I don't fully fish where I'm at to the best of my ability. That's one of my mistakes. You know what I mean? You can't be so caught up in going to the next spot that you don't be more focused on where you're at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. I be honest with you. Looking back on it, sometimes you try to look too deep on what's going on instead of what's right in front of you.
Right.
And I think what you said, Paul, a lot of that is some obvious stuff that
Simplifying it.
Yeah, I think there was
Pete
a lot
Klusick.
of there was a lot of obvious stuff there I missed. Because I think I had a little anxiety in butterflies. It was my first tournament back. I think I was overthinking things, and I think I had to settle in a little bit.
I like what he said about
Paul.
throwing the lures. You know they'll bite too, and if they're not biting it, you just move. Like, it's actually funny. We're having Cobb on. Like, that's one of the things. When we talked to him forever ago, and we were at it might have been a BU show, but he said, "Oh well, if I'm not getting bites, I just chalk it up to that they're not there and go somewhere else." I'm like,
Very simple.
True in winter.
Yeah.
Very true in winter.
Very simple. Very simple. I like it. Well, that was a great answer, Paul. All right, before we let you go, Paul, what's going to happen next couple weeks? I'm just saying it's going to be warming up in Jersey here. Give me some predictions. What do you got going on the next few weeks here?
Well, March is usually when things start popping off around South Jersey. I'm definitely going to be thinking about the spinner baits. I do best on them in the springtime. Most people love them in the fall. They're more of my spring kind of bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But lately, it's been quiet lately. Lately, it's been mostly the boat guys out catching fish. My shout out to my buddy Justin Hatfield. He got his PB from the same lake I got mine in his kayak, 513.
Heck yeah, that's a nice one.
That was my fish. But then he told me, the other day he was out for 4 hours and not a bite. But I just caught my first fish from the bank, so things are going to be moving along quickly soon. Yeah. I'm going to say spinner baits and jigs. And then as soon as it's bedding season, that's my time. Bedding season, that's my time. That's when I'm like straight up bass hunter.
Heck yeah.
That's when I'm going to break out those Berkeley power worms.
Heck
and
yeah.
Torment those fish. But in the meantime, I'm going to stick with spinner baits, jigs, search baits. You know what I mean? Find those active moving fish.
Yeah. Man, I like it. I like it. That's a great prediction. Well, I tell you this, Paul, next time we talk to you, we're going to be well into March on our next show. We're going to get another update. And I'm Brian Carpenter. I have a feeling we're going to hear from Paul next show, and he's going to have some big news for us. And when I say big news, I mean big fish. Big news.
I want to hear his classic pick.
Oh yeah,
we do. I want to hear about South Jersey. It blows down here.
Yeah.
No offense, Paul.
Yeah, we do need that, Paul. Before we let you go,
but no, I appreciate his optimistic outlook. He's not jaded and old like me. Can't read anything anymore.
Exactly.
He's still got
Yeah, that is a good that is a good call though. Paul, give us your Bassmaster Classic prediction for a winner. Classics next week. Give us that list, even if you don't know the whole 50 angler list. Give us a name that you think is going to end up on top next week.
Hank Cherry's going to bring the heat.
Oh,
baby,
three in a row.
The hat trick?
Back-to-back winner. Those Berkeley jerk baits he loves throwing. He's going to bring the heat. But honestly, probably the guy, since you're not part of the tournament, probably the guy I want to win, G-Man, Gerald Swindle.
G-Man, that's a good prediction. That's a good vote. Yeah, I'd like to see G win. Yeah. He's due. He's never even won an elite event yet. So what a great first event to win would be the Classic.
I feel like he's not a wintertime fisherman, though.
He's pretty versatile, though.
He's very versatile. He junks around.
He can junk around.
But is junk around a wintertime deal?
He's got that He's got that shad wrap deal.
Knows a shad wrap deal. Yeah. He knows a jig deal.
Yeah.
Catch him on a jig.
He knows what I taught him.
Yeah. He knows what Brian taught him. It's pretty good too. Yeah, Paul, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you as always for the update, and thank you for being our special correspondent. We love having you.
All right, thanks.
Powerbait Paul, everyone. Yes. All right, listen. Now I'm telling you, if you're watching and listening, and you're like, "Who the hell was that guy?" Go over on Instagram, follow Powerbait Paul. He's a good dude. He's going to be our special correspondent all year.
Whether he likes it or not.
Whether he likes it or not. He's going to be our correspondent. Brian, let's do this. I think this is a good idea. Let's take a little break.
Yeah, all right.
And when we come back, let's get Brandon Cobb right on because I think this is a good one. Jake, maybe we'll catch up on some questions too real quick before we get Brandon on. But hang in there with us, man. If you're watching tonight, we've got a brand new Ike Live show for you. We've got Such joining us a little later. Brandon Cobb coming up in a second. Hang in there. When we come back, more Ike Live.
Right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. The Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. It's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. Yeah. We're proud of it.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
4.5-inch drop shot worm. Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras, like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
It's more than who you are. It's who you're with. And it's more than what you do. It's where you do it. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
Air them out.
Left.
That's a nice chair.
Oh, look at him making out. Go ahead.
I didn't know that.
Shake and bake.
Folks at home, welcome back to Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I know we are. While you were waiting there, we had a special guest come in and join us. The one and only Miss Rebecca joined us here on Ike Live. How you doing, Beck?
Hi, everyone.
You know, I'm going to ask you this question. Who you wearing tonight? Who you rocking? I see a pin, too. You're wearing a pin tonight. Pin's coming back in style?
I'm bringing the pin back.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Who's that? Aerosmith?
But I am, like, blinged out in my Gucci rings.
Gucci rings?
Rich. Got my Gucci rings, my Furla bracelet.
Okay. And a pin.
This pin. I'm bringing pins back.
Okay. Well, it looks good.
They need to come back. Thank you.
It looks really nice.
But what is it? Is it a rock band? What is it? What are you talking about?
What, my pin? My pin's,
rock
it's
band.
Just it's a gold heart.
Oh. All right.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Brian.
Sorry to disappoint you, Brian. It's just a gold heart. That's all it is.
Just a gold heart.
I don't know what it means.
We've got Brandon Cobb joining us in just a little bit, so
Maybe
hang
he's
in
wearing
there.
a pin.
We're going to be talking about Bassmaster Classic.
Or a patch.
We're going to be talking about other stuff, too, with Brandon. Before we do that, we do have a big announcement, Jake, of a winner. And this is an early winner. We're going to give it to you every segment. We have another winner coming up. But this is our...
We already did the first segment with no winner.
Right. This is our...
From here on out.
From here on out. It's gonna be winners everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. Our mystery tackle box giveaway winner is Scott Peterson.
All right.
Scott, congratulations. Look at this giant thing you've won. Of course, amazing MTB T-shirt.
Can we sign
got
it?
a beautiful Ike Live hat. We'll get that thing signed for you by everybody. And I don't know, this box of like, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, like 10 MTB boxes in there with lures, loaded with lures. Up to 10. Scott Peterson.
Between 1 and 10.
You are our MTB winner tonight. Congratulations. There you
go.
go.
On,
Scott
Peterson.
Yes.
Congrats.
Mr.
Congrats,
Peterson.
Scott.
Mr. Peterson.
That's a great prize.
Today's winner.
Hold on, Brandon Cobb's upside down.
No, we don't want Brandon upside down. We want him right side
I want
up.
him up. Brandon, I want you upside down.
No. He should start out upside down like Fitty.
Oh yeah, like 50 Cent. And but Brandon's in shape though. 50 was looking a little.
Oh, stop it!
I'm just saying 50 was looking a little.
How old is the poor man? He still looked buff.
He's probably my age. He's probably
He
in
didn't
his
look
50s.
buff.
He still
He looked bubbly.
He looked fluffy buff, which is normal for a 50-year-old.
He looked fluffy buff.
50 looking like a dollar.
All right. Well, Brandon's a lot more in shape than 50. I can tell you that. So, if you're watching, listen, I know you've been waiting. This is the Classic Preview Show. And what a better guy to have on to talk about the Classic, to talk about Hartwell, talk about the state of one of the hottest young anglers out there right now. Joining us on Ike Live, Mr. Brandon Cobb. Yes. Brandon.
Hey, guys. My phone keeps falling over.
Oh, that's okay. We were having fun with it. We liked it.
Yeah.
You're right on par with how we do. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
It adds a little character to the video, doesn't it? Sliding around like an earthquake.
I like it. I like it. Now, here's the first thing. I called you Mr. Brandon Cobb instead of Brandon Cobb. Is that okay?
That is strange, but okay.
So here's what I'm trying to figure out. We're talking the Classic tonight, and the first Bassmaster Classic, I fished it. I had a good event there. I had a chance to win on the last day. It was actually won by Alton Jones. It was 2008.
Oh, my God.
How old were you in 2008, Brandon? Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, no, there he goes. He's back. Okay.
So the whole time I was sitting here, this was working perfectly. And then as soon as you called me on, we start having trouble.
Gravity. And then suddenly gravity kicked into effect.
Mike's volume level causes your phone to shake.
I know. But here's the thing. Now we know what to get Brandon for a Christmas present next year. We need to get him a phone holder. Like a RAM mount. Like a phone holder RAM mount thing.
Can I get you a bedazzled one?
Yeah, we'll get him a bedazzled one with sparkles.
I was perfectly good pre coming on here.
Well, actually, now I'm totally intrigued. Brandon, how old are you? How old were you in 08?
In 08, that was when I graduated high school. So
we're the same age.
Wow.
That's the year I gifted my appendix to Greenville.
I was there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He was born the year you guys were graduating.
That's
you
crazy.
gifted your appendix?
I had my
Is that right?
appendix removed the last day of the Classic. It went on me. Like, I was
Oh my gosh.
dying, and Mike's like calling after the tournament. He's like, I had a bad day.
Had a
And I was
bad
like, by the way, I'm in the hospital,
Yeah.
so whenever you're done weighing in with your bad day, could you come to the hospital?
Beck had a
Oh, my
worse day
God.
than I had. You know, they were just fish not biting, and I kept my appendix. Do you remember? Brandon, where you were in that Classic 2008 Classic, Alton Jones? Were you there? Did you go to watch it? Were you watching TV?
I think I went to the expo because that was my senior year of high school, or I graduated in 08.
Yeah.
So I think I went to the expo, but I don't remember it really well. I don't remember. I know I went to the expo one day and the weigh-in, but I don't think I went on the water or anything at that one.
Gotcha. Big history, of course. 2015, Casey Ashley winning there on a true winner, what I call true wintertime bite.
Yep.
And then in 2018, Jordan Lee going back to back with a nice little fish to moment win.
Skipping a Shenko under
Yeah,
docks.
a little dock fishing. The interesting thing, Brandon, when I look back on those three Classics, I see three distinct ways those tournaments were won. Does that surprise you that Hartwell fish is versatile like that time of the year?
Yeah, so I think when it, like, you saw when Jordan won, it was kind of like everything kind of was working. It was a lot of that grass, docks, like everything, some deep water fishing. And I think the colder it is, it kind of fishes more one-dimensional. And then as it warms, everything opens up, which it's been hot this week. So I think that's what I love about Hartwell so much, man. I mean, I like anybody that asks me, they're like, what part of the lake you think is the best? I'm like, you can't answer that. You can win in any 5 miles of Lake Hartwell. Yeah. I think the tournament could be won fishing the right way in any 5 miles of Lake Hartwell, or like I'm going to try to probably fish all 5 miles of the entire lake, like every 5 mile stretch. Yeah. So I think the whole lake's good and versatile. That's what's so cool about it.
Well, I hope it shapes up to be that kind of event. I'd like to see a versatile tournament. As a fan, that's the kind of tournament I want to see. Just to give you, if you're watching and listening right now, to give you a little update, and I looked on a weather app, a real far-out prediction. But here it goes, Brandon. Friday, 66 high, 45 low. Saturday of the Classic, 72 high, 47 low. And then Sunday of the Classic, 70 high, 50 low. That's a pretty nice weather.
Yeah, it's stable.
Yeah,
stable event.
That's crazy for this time of year. I think today I went fishing with my dad today, and on the little lake here at the house, and it was 78 degrees. The water temperature was almost 60. It was 60 in places.
Wow. Brandon, how important is boat draw going to be in this? Like, are the later flight, like the guys who have like the later check-in times, is that going to be a big deal this time of year on Hartwell?
I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because with herring-related fish, there's always a really good morning bite. I don't care. Unless they're on bed, there's a good morning bite.
Gotcha.
But then because of the warming weather, there's going to be a lot of fish pulling up to bite later in the day. So I think it's kind of double-edged. I think if you play your cards right, you can capitalize on both. Because you'll have 1 and 1. You know, at least for the first 2 days of the tournament, you'll be, if you're early the first day, you're going to be late the second day. So I think you kind of got to play what hand you're dealt on your takeoff number, which I'm right in the middle, so I kind of got screwed on that. But
yeah, it was always interesting. Beck, Brandon talking about I'm assuming you got your draw this week or just a few days ago.
Yeah, we got it. I don't remember my exact number, but I just remember looking. I'm like, oh man, I'm middle of the field fish.
All right, so here's something funny, and I'm just being honest here. Could be in my mind, but Beck, you know this. Brandon, all those years I fished over at Bass, and my relationship with Bass. Everybody, they want to assume that back in the day I was like the golden child of Bass or whatever, but that was never true.
Did people assume that?
A lot of people did, but
really?
in fact it was the opposite.
The fines would say something different.
Right, it was the opposite. It was the opposite. Like I really was like sort of like the whipping boy of Bass for a lot of years, or I thought I was. But we would get that draw, and I would always be like holding my breath, like, oh yeah, the email's coming, or whatever the call's
the
coming.
Random
draw. The random draw. And every time, I shit you not, Brandon, every time I'd open it, I'd be like at the end, like, they got me again, them son of a bitches, like, and I'd honestly, like, in my mind, Becky and I had it worked up that they were just screwing us on purpose at this point. Because I was always in the back,
He was always 49.
Damn
always.
Yankee.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So,
they're still fighting the war.
I hate being late, usually, because I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I'm kind of all over the place for like an hour or two in the morning trying a bunch of different things. And sometimes it works, but then a lot of times I don't get it together until about 11. So
yeah.
I like being late a lot.
Yeah.
I like being late on day 1 because I usually am much more in tune on day 2.
Right. You want the longer day to try different things, to get a little more dialed. I'd agree with that.
It's a good
to
way
get
to
my
look
bad
at it.
decisions out of the way.
Yeah.
On a longer day.
I'd agree with that.
I want a tournament trail to go to the format of like the local jackpot where like you get your boat number based on when you sign up.
Right.
So like you'll have the guys waiting until like the night before at midnight to sign up for the tournament. Like
on purpose because they want the later flight.
LMFAO MPFL if you're listening. Try
that. There you go. There's something to try.
What about the night tournament shotgun start?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did that for like one of the biggest tournaments in history for the Bass Pro Shops deal.
Yeah, the Bass Pro Shops on Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dudes went down.
Oh, yeah, that worked out really good.
They didn't even need weather to cancel it.
Yeah. Nobody heard about that because Johnny Morris has really good lawyers to cover that whole thing up. But we just uncovered it right now on Ike Live. Yeah, that's okay. I know you already touched on it, but I want you to pick one, and I want you to give us your opinion. You have to pick one here. This is Ike Live. You got to be honest with us. Will deep or shallow prevail next week? If you had to pick one, you can't pick both. You have to pick one. Will deep or shallow prevail for the win next week, Brandon?
I think because of the weather and the rising water, shallow. So you also have rising water. That water level's coming up. Is it coming up every day or by the week? Or I haven't watched it like I probably should have. All I know is in December, before it went off limits, it was like 5 to 6 feet down, and now it's essentially close to full. It's down a little bit, but it's came up, 5 feet since then, and it's warm now, and it's not dropping now. It's more stable.
Right.
And I think, but the other side of that, I know you said I have to pick one or the other. I really don't think you could win this tournament doing any one thing. Even if it's just shallow, if you're all shallow, I still don't think it can be one thing. I don't think you can be like, I'm going to fish docks, or I'm going to go in this creek, or I'm going to whatever it may be. I don't think you can do just one thing. I don't. The way Hartwell fishes, especially when it gets hot, there's going to be too scattered. I think the fishing will be good, but I don't think if it had been cold, you'd have tons of fish. Like what you saw when Casey won.
Yeah.
He literally sat on one place at least the final day and just caught fish the entire day. It's not cold anymore. It's not as cold as it was. So I think it broke a lot up probably and scattered. At least that's what always happens on our lakes around here when it does that.
Yeah. Yep. I think you're right. Let me remind you, if you're watching and listening right now, man, if you got a question for Brandon, if you got a question for anything you're hearing tonight, please hit us up. We've got IMs over here, and Jake's taking them. Jake, you got any coming through right now? What you got?
I got one. We're talking about the shallow bite, talking about the deep bite.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into complete specifics. But what does Brandon think is going to be the go-to lure for the tournament?
Oh.
And that's coming from Paul Big Horse.
You can plead the fifth if you feel like every other elite angler's watching this.
Yeah, you can plead the fifth, or you could just put it into a generalized category too.
Yeah, I'll go with a category. I mean, I think if it is, I think shallow wise, I'll just go with off what I said. Shallow. I think shallow, you're going to see a lot of worms. I mean, you always do when they get up. I think you'll see a lot of worm fishing, maybe quick worm fishing. I'm not saying you see guys dragging a worm down the bank, but like target oriented worm fishing.
Yeah.
I think you'll see that. Which there is herring too. So there's always some fish feeding in there. So you might see some reaction stuff reaction baits will catch a lot of fish. But
what's water temp going to be?
Do what now?
What's water temp going to be?
Man, I have no idea. Like I went to Lake Greenwood today. It's a lake right here by my house, but it's shallow, muddy. Like it just stays warmer, and it was like 60 to 61.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, I can't even. But Hartwell's so deep and clear and much bigger, and it's a little bit farther. A little north of my house here. So I think it'll be mid 50s, maybe low 50s off the start, but still getting warm because looking at the extended weather, like you said, we really the only 2 days to cool it down. Or Saturday's gonna be a little cool, and Sunday, and then other than that, it's pretty mild.
Pretty
40s
mild.
and 60s, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty mild. I mean, I remember the Classic that Casey won.
Cold.
And yeah, Brandon,
boats were stuck to the trailers.
We were talking in the beginning of the show about weather, and we were talking about some of the current events going on that are canceling. But I remember that first day. I remember the official practice day. This is a great story. At Lake Hartwell, dude, Brandon, it was so cold. I mean, back then I was with Under Armour, and I had some really good technical gear, and I was cold. And I remember that morning, the morning of your official practice, they pair you up with someone from the media a lot of times. And I got this guy from Canada, and it was he wrote for Canada's version of like the New York Times. I can't remember what it was. Blah blah blah, whatever. And I meet this guy in the parking lot, and dude's got like a thin shirt on,
blue
and
jeans.
very dressed, very normal.
Blue jeans and a flannel.
Yeah,
Good to go.
and I'm like, I remember saying to the guy, I'm like, hey man, it's we're running around today, like practicing. Like, do you want to, do you need something? I have an extra bib, thing. Oh no. He's like, no man, I'm Canadian. I remember him saying like, no man, I'm Canadian. And I was like, okay.
Well, we're going to see how Canadian that is.
Dude, I had one of those heater buddies. You know the heater, the little buddy thing in the boat. That's how cold it was. And, oh, yeah, he was shot.
Oh, yeah.
Was he shot? Oh, was he shot?
Oh, he was shot. He a couple hours in, he was
shot. Yeah, because he's not used to you doing 70 miles an hour every 15 minutes.
He was smoking, and I wasn't going back to the ramp for him.
No, I know that.
Oh, he was shot.
And now we're in. He's from Florida.
Yeah, he was shot. But that was a cold classic, so it's not going to be that cold.
But there was also
wasn't all those boats froze to the trailer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Boats were freezing to the trailer. The ice in the guides was the whole first day of the classic. You couldn't make 5-6 casts without either dunking your rod or spraying some real snot
that's
or
dope
something
though,
on
man.
there.
Could you imagine if they canceled football games because there was snow?
No. You know what? It's wild to me. And listen, I'm not going to pass judgment on tournaments being canceled or whatever.
I will.
We already did.
Yeah.
Oh, you already did.
We covered it.
But I remember multiple classics where, I would skid down a ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Because I drove the truck and boat, and I'd kind of slide down. You'd very carefully do it.
Yeah.
And then when it get there, literally there'd be guys there to shake the boats
Yes.
to get them off the bunks because they'd be frozen to it. And once it hit the water, it would help and good shake. And I'd launch you, and then I'd have to put it in 4-wheel drive to safely get back up that ramp.
Yeah.
We still launched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe it's scarier now than it was then, but I
People
sure
are an
remember doing it,
endangered
and no one
species now,
stopped
Beck.
us.
Yeah, it's an endangered species.
Well,
we're running out of people.
I don't know. Here's the good news. You guys aren't going to have to deal with that next week at the Classic, Brandon. You're going to have nice weather, which is good.
Wait, I have a question. Brandon.
It's 10 times better. It's 10 times better when it's like that. I would love that cold, 40-something degree water temp. That's my favorite time to fish around here. Actually, right now is my by far least favorite time to fish Hartwell, unfortunately.
Wow.
That's crazy to hear.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Oh,
You'd rather be fishing when the water temp's in the low 50s, high 40s than in the 60s.
100%. Anywhere from below 50 and spawn and on. I don't like pre-spawn, immediate pre-spawn.
Man, Brandon, you'd love fishing in South Jersey. It's in the 40s here until June, bro. So you'd be right at home.
That's true. Do you have something back?
I just like it because you just got to find one place. That's all you need. There's usually enough up there.
Bunches them up.
Around here, they bite when it's that cold. Winter around here is better than anywhere.
Yeah, it does bunch them up. Beck, what did you have?
All right, so Brandon, I want to know, honestly, who do you think your biggest competition in this classic is?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
Man, I honestly because of this weather and it's kind of crazy. It's actually different than I've ever even experienced there. I think your shallow water power fishing guys, that your spinnerbait guys, just some names that I know are in it that are I'd look to do well, Jason Christie, Todd Alton, and some of those really power fishing, they're gonna lock a spinnerbait in their hand and target shallow cover and things like that. I think it could work out well for that style of fishing, and that's not. I do that a lot, but I never. I don't just because I know so much. It's gonna make it hard to focus on one thing.
Yeah, that's a great comment. What you just said, and I vividly remember some of the tournaments that came here. So, Delaware River in 2014. The very next year, right after that, the Upper Chesapeake Bay, which are both sort of home fisheries to me, and sometimes you can know too much. Honestly, knowing too much on the Delaware helped me win. Knowing too much on the flats a year later,
that'll burn
absolutely
your ass.
Smoked me and killed me, Brandon.
Yep.
So that's what you said is exactly right. But you do have the home court advantage. When I laid it all out, and we talked to Such a little bit earlier too, and without a doubt, you are the local guy. You're the one that has the burden of being the local on your shoulders.
Well, don't give him pressure.
No, I'm not giving him pressure because here's the thing.
It's a pattern lake.
Brandon's cool. Is a cool cat. He ain't like me. He ain't all high strung and stressed out
How
like me.
do you know? Maybe when he gets off here, he's got sweaty armpits.
No, he doesn't have sweaty armpits. He's calm.
Brandon just drinks water and beer. He's fine.
Water and beer is fine. He's good. He ain't like me. Here's what I want to know, because for those two home court tournaments for me, I really changed a lot of things, and I went on this weird psycho preparation mode for both those events. What are you doing leading up to the Classic, knowing that you're the guy and you have the home court advantage? What have you changed anything? Are you the same?
One thing I didn't do is I only pre-practiced for like 6 hours one day.
Wow.
I didn't even go because I've spent so much time out there. And the one thing, Hartwell has changed a lot. Like in the last 3 years, I haven't spent that much time, but in college, I probably spent 100 something days a year on the water on Hartwell.
Yeah.
And I really haven't changed that much. The one thing that, like, I'm sure you do just like I do, I don't do a lot of prep for tournaments, like as far as, looking at maps and study. You may do that. I don't. I more or less just get on the water and kind of run around like, oh, that looks good. But I've kind of been running through my head all the different things that I think may be going on. And I was telling somebody the other day, like, I can almost bet whether or not I win this tournament, whoever wins this tournament, I will see what they're doing and be like, crap, I know exactly how to do that. I know exactly like what that is. And I've just been trying to stay focused on not doing too much of everything and not realizing what the deal is this year.
Yeah.
And trying to keep that, because I mean, over the years, that's one thing about Hartwell is like, yes, I do have more experience probably than anybody on Hartwell, but what a lot of people don't realize, Hartwell, you do because you've been a lot of times. The water level varies so much. Like when I was in college in like 2009, went there, it was like 22 feet down.
Wow.
And then it came up by like 2000, I don't even remember when it was, but like 12 or 13 or something like that. It was full again. Then it went back down like 10 feet. So I do have a lot of experience on it, but I have a little bit of experience at all the different water levels and probably more at it, 6+ feet down than I do now.
What's it at now?
So it's a different lake, even though it's the same lake.
Right.
What's the water level like right now? I'm sorry if you said that earlier. I missed it.
Yeah, it's full-ish. I think it's down just a little bit.
Brandon, is Hartwell, would you consider Hartwell to be like a pattern lake? Because like I know some lakes across the country, like the bite will seem kind of more random and you just got to cover water. But then there's some places where you go where it's like, all right, I got a bite on a rock fan. I can run that from one end of the lake to the other. Does Hartwell fish like that?
Yeah, it does. It's pretty patternable. Like, and actually, when it's cold, it's not. It's more of a not spotted bass, but like spot fishing lake. Like you find a spot, a place. And then as it gets warmer, it's definitely patternable as it gets warmer, because the fish, the difference is, though, it's so big and stretched out, like with the rivers and main lake, everything. It fishes different from like one end to the other. So like it's patternable, but maybe not the entire lake.
Like a section, like you can put a pattern together in a certain section of the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the fish are always in different stages, and there's more spotted bass in certain areas, more largemouth in certain areas. So, and that's the one thing, the spotted bass. When I was heavy fishing Hartwell, like in college and, up till probably 2018 or so, I fished it a ton. I mean, it had spotted bass, but if you're weighing in spotted bass, you're going to lose.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hearing now the big stringers are coming off spots.
Yeah, and now it's getting almost like linear with some of the big spots. And that's what's changed pretty heavily. They're getting bigger and bigger. And that used to be they weren't, I mean, you'd weigh in maybe a couple spots with a big bag, but you wouldn't have, 4 spots in a largemouth. You'd have 5 largemouth in one spot. And I think it's just changed a good bit. I think a lot of that's because like the stripers aren't quite as prevalent as they once were in Hartwell, so it's not as much competition.
What do you think? Which do you think it's going to take to win for the tournament? Is it going to be a guy weighing in mostly largemouth or spots?
I think
both. Mostly largemouth, but I think you will probably still the winner will have some spots, but I think it's predominantly largemouth.
I mean,
but I'm biased because I'm used to fishing at far largemouth. So.
I like it.
No, but here's the real question.
What's that?
Are you excited for Seth Feider's speech?
I told Amy that.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Yes.
I just really wish that I could be there for that one. That's what I miss. I miss the most is like
I'm sad
the parts that come along with the Classic that the rest of the world doesn't know about. But like that dinner, you get dressed up, you get to hang out as friends and drink, and there's always an amazing speech.
What night is it?
It's
the
night before.
No, it's
Wednesday.
I actually mentioned that somebody. I can't wait to hear Seth's speech at the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel.
hands down, my favorite was always Aaron Martin's.
Aaron's speeches were the best.
They were the best.
They were the best.
Yeah. Right behind, of course, Mike Iaconelli.
Mine sucked. Aaron's were great. But I think Seth's going to be unique. It's going to be unique.
Oh, it's going to be unique.
I think it's going to be shorter than some of the speeches we've heard.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, had a decent year. Got to do it again. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, with like a cocktail in his hand.
I just told you what his speech is. That is it right there.
That's it.
Had a couple decent days.
Had a couple decent days.
A decent year.
And Mercer's always a part of the ceremony, and he's usually had quite a few cocktails.
Oh, he's hammered always. Yeah.
Always for that night.
Looking forward to Mercer being hammered again.
Awesome.
Oh, speaking of hammer, we got Jason Christie on our YouTube feed tonight, the fake one with 203 subscribers. But Jason Christie's boat on his.
Cool.
So shout out to fake Jason Christie.
Fake Jason Christie in the house. We love you, fake Jason Christie.
I'm so confused.
I am too.
He shows up on the Bass U lives on YouTube and pretends he's Jason Christie.
I like it.
Fugazi Christie.
Brandon, we got a couple. I'm checking social media here. We had a couple coming through. One from Mike Wisniewski. It says, Brandon.
The Woz.
Yeah. He says, Brandon, did y'all plan any brush or cane before the event?
The Woz didn't say
the
that.
Wisniewski, I don't know where he's from, but
say that.
he did say that. That's what's in the text.
We did not. I'm sure there's probably so much cane in Hartwell now that I've never seen so much brush in my life. I used to put it out a lot in college back when I was up there, but there's brush piles every 10 feet in that entire lake now.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, now, and for people watching and listening right now that have no idea what cane is, they think it's cocaine or Big Daddy cane, explain to them what cane is.
Do they really?
They
All
might.
right, so I'll explain what cane is, and I got a funny story about cane pile back when I used to put them out.
Go ahead.
You got a funny story about cane. Nice.
I like it.
It's actually it's bamboo, and you stand it straight up. And the reason it's so productive on a lake like Hartwell or Lanier or these herring lakes is because the fish like to feed near the top. Well, they feed over in like 20 to 25 foot of water, but you got to have a brush pile that gets close enough to the top for the fish to sit on and still be able to feed on top. Gotcha. So you stand the bamboo straight up, and it's a cane pile, and you can throw top water over, and the fish will come. They only have to come up. Usually the rule of thumb is it's got to be within like 8 feet of top to get them to come up.
Yeah.
So 8 to 10 feet. But so the funny story about is cane. So we always think cane in 20 to 25 feet because usually a bamboo stick is, roughly like 15 to 18 feet tall or so. Well, I had this brilliant idea. I was like, all right, everybody's cane's in, 20 foot. So me and my roommate in college, we spent like an entire day cutting bamboo. And I cut the biggest bamboos I could find and then cut all the greens off of them. So I just had all these bamboo poles. And I took PVC couplers to hook these sticks together. And I made a 68 or 66 foot tall cane pile in 72 feet of water.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Man. It took hours to create. And you know how many bass I ever caught off that thing?
0.
Absolutely none.
So what'd you float it with?
Sink it.
So the cane floats itself. So we just had to put a whole bunch of blocks on the bottom, and then I would lower one PVC or one bamboo stick down and put the PVC coupler on, run 2 screws in it, and put the next stick in, screw it in, and lower it again.
It's a fucking operation.
I love it, dude.
Dude, it's so
threats.
Some guy is going to catch him at the Classic. He's like, man, I was fishing 60 feet of water.
70 foot. I was in 88 I found this giant cane, piece of cane, all by itself.
It was like a stand in timber.
Wow. It's so true, though. Like, anytime you work to do something like that, it never freaking pans out. Brian the Carpenter, you and Dave sunk brush at Cooper River.
Yeah.
A storm came through, and the rain blew him, the current blew him out. Like,
Dude,
it never works.
I was responsible for getting the block.
Yeah.
And the brush.
Yeah.
And all Dave had to get was rope.
Yeah.
And he showed up with twine. You know that Harry Brown stuff?
Yeah.
Twine.
It's made of corn.
He brought freaking twine, and this was years ago, and he had a little yellow GPS thing that he didn't know how to use. So within like 10 minutes of dropping the first brush pile, he abandoned that because he wouldn't read directions. So then we were just triangulating with 2 spots off the bank to try to locate them. And yeah, the storm came and Dave's twine didn't hold up.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, one more question coming from social media. This one's from Kerry Spence, and Kerry wants to know, Brandon, will you need active target or something like that to win this classic?
I mean, I definitely don't think it can hurt. It's the way the fish act on Hartwell, especially when I think some of those bank-oriented fish know, but the way the offshore fish move chasing the herring, that you'll be able to tell when one of those groups, rather than in years past before active target, you were basically just throwing in the center, hoping to catch one of those fish following herring around. But now you can actually see them and throw at them. So I definitely think it'll play. I don't know if it'll be like 100%. That's what somebody's game plan is to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely going to add some fish to bags throughout the tournament.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it was colder, it would play even more so. But it's definitely going to play.
Right. Yeah, I wonder how that'll work on that ditch deal. Because that's still going to play in the mornings, right? The guys in the backs fishing that herring deal in the ditches. I wonder how that'll play.
I think it can't hurt because basically you're usually just kind of throwing out there and hoping you're reeling by one. Now you'll know you're reeling by one. So.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, what do you got?
It's Brandon. That hat. How old is that hat?
This one right here is only like 2 weeks old.
Oh, all right.
This is what I collect at the tournament. So you see signatures on it. This is from Harris Chain. Any of my younger fans that want me to sign their hat, I make them sign mine too.
Heck yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
At the weigh-in, and then I save all these. I'll probably break a new one out for the first couple of days of the Classic, and then if the first day doesn't go so well, I'll break out one of my good luck hats.
Right on, man.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Mike, I signed Wayne Morris's forehead again the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's twice now.
That's twice.
Good.
Yeah.
It's cleaned it off with what? Engine degreaser?
I believe so.
Engine degreaser.
I don't quite.
Brandon, let me tell you this. I will definitely be rooting for you next week. I'll be down there. I'm fishing a little classic myself, not as big as the one you're fishing, but I'll be down there next week. I'll be rooting for you the whole week. It should be a great tournament, dude. As much as I miss being in it, I'm excited to watch this one. You know what I mean? Because like when you're in the Classic, you miss everything that's going on.
So what days is your event?
My event is
Wednesday,
Thursday before their tournament even starts. So
okay.
Yep. So I'll get a chance I'll be able to watch and
so
follow along, and
you'll be at the expo all 3 days.
I'll be at the expo all 3 days. I'll be working and watching and listening, and
I got you.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be there out there fishing with you guys in spirit. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, Brandon. Wish you a lot of luck, man. And I think you got a great attitude. Just keep an open mind and go fishing and find a fish, and you can win.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Get after it tomorrow morning.
Good luck, Brandon. We appreciate you coming on the show.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Brandon Cobb, everyone. Yes.
Throw the phone. Do upside down again.
One more time. Upside down.
I don't even know how to get out.
It's okay. Brian doesn't know how to turn you off.
Nah.
I figured it out. See ya.
He's going to pull a Jimmy Houston.
He's going to stay on for like an hour. We're going to start hearing dogs
You notice
barking.
how Brian does this on purpose, though? Like, he just doesn't turn the Zoom off. Like, we say goodbye, and then the poor person is left awkwardly sitting there.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
I can't see nothing.
I know. I honestly, I didn't ask him that question about. I didn't want to make him feel nervous. I didn't ask him because of that, but I asked him because I like the way that he's handling the local pressure. Like I saw him last week at the tournament at Harris Chain, and I'm like, I like real quick just said something like, "You ready for the Classic?" Oh yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited about it. Like, if that was me when that tournament came to Philly. Dude, I was stressed out for like 8 months.
We were all stressed out.
Oh, dude, we were all stressed. I was a fucking mess.
How about you, Beck?
Like,
I'm always stressed out when Mike is home, when he's not home. Like, when Mike doesn't call, I'm like, oh.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's like a spa day.
Wait, I wish you were here earlier. He was talking about how he calls you every day just to check in.
Yeah, I do. I call you.
Yeah, I know what that's
call you in the
about.
mornings and I call you in the afternoons.
And he was, he thankful to be back and enjoyed the first event. Even enjoyed the first event, and bad finish, but it was good. And he was very positive about it. I just wish you were here.
Let me tell you the evolution of our relationship.
Yeah.
So Mike always separated like fishing and our relationship. And so when Mike went fishing in the morning, it was like, see ya. And cell phones weren't as big. We couldn't track each other. You didn't have Life 360, all that stuff. And I didn't talk to Mike till he got off the water after dark. And back then they didn't have rules when you had to get off the water. So Mike would roll in at like 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Like dark to dark was real for Mike. So I didn't know. He'd come in exhausted. He'd throw some food in his mouth. He'd tell me some stuff, and he'd go to bed. And in the morning, he'd launch again. So I didn't know that much. And, sometimes he'd be like, I need another battery, and I needed this, I needed that. So I knew what, I was doing that day. Now, evolution many years later, 16 years later, my phone rings all the time.
Just kick the graph off the front. You got another one?
Becca cannot find them. I don't know what the you're doing. I'm stressing out. I'm freaking out. Click. Okay. 5 minutes later, I found them.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It's therapeutic for me. Like, if I get a pain in the ass for you, but you do, like, I like that you get me recentered mentally. You refocus.
No matter what the cost to you, Beck.
Right.
I jest and I joke. Like, I don't actually mind the phone calls because in 16 years, I would say that we've built all this more as a partnership. Yeah. So what happens on the water, if it's good or bad, has become us.
Teamwork.
Yeah, and not, you know what I mean? Him telling me things is us working together. Yeah. I can't tell you how to catch fish, but I can listen and do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting this year. We got 7 left ahead of us.
I do always tell you when it's too much. I'm like, you're giving me anxiety. I can't talk to you anymore. And then I hang up.
That does happen a lot. We got
chaos.
We've got a great guest coming up back in just a second. I'm excited to talk to Such on
I
Ike Live.
know.
Now, is this the
Such is
first
gonna
time?
be good.
Is this the first time we've had Such on Ike Live, or is this the second time?
I would say first. He was at the house.
Yeah,
right?
he was here.
He was here. I know he was here. Do we have him on the show when he was here or no?
I don't think so.
Did he not come on the show when he was here?
I can't remember. I'm excited to have him on the show.
That was before Bassmaster was even allowing him on the air.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
May have been.
Yeah, he was just like writing and everything. You're
That's
right.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to talk to him a little bit about the Classic, and he's always got great insight on the competitors and the storylines. So it'll be interesting to talk to him here in a little bit. It's going to be nice to have him on the show.
Yeah.
If you're watching, listen, we're going to take a little bit of break. Brian the Carpenter, we've got a brand new show. This is a brand new one. We're talking about the Classic, man. You got to get excited about this. Biggest tournament of the year. Hang in there with us because we're going to take a little break, man. When we come back, we got Such on the phone. We're going to be talking to Such. We're also going to be doing an MTB unboxing. Beck, I know how much you love that.
I do.
We're going to unbox a little MTB.
Such is going to be good, dude.
And we want to remind everybody. Let me do it now, and we'll do it in the last segment too. Beck, big announcement we just made in the first segment. Ike Live after party right after the Classic, Sunday, March 6th, starting at 7 p.m. at Barley's in Greenville. It should be a pretty swell time. What do you think?
Livacy's in a dunk tank.
Livacy in a dunk tank.
I think it'll
Caleb's
be a
making
lot of fun.
balloon animals.
Fighter with the shirt
children.
off.
Yep.
Naked.
Roberts is wrestling bears.
Wrestling bears getting
I'm
tattoos on body parts.
I'm excited about the Ike Live after party coming back, and here's why. Believe it or not.
And here's why.
Oh, no.
So we can go a lot of different directions with this.
Sure can.
So, I mean, this isn't the first rodeo going to the Classic anymore, but, like, year one going to the Classic and, like, being there as working, it's like you're all excited. You want to go out and see people every night and do all that stuff. But, like, 3-4 years later, it's like, all right, I'm only going to go out one night, and since the Ike Live after party's back, it gives me a reason to only go out the last night.
Yeah,
not
save
go out,
it.
Not
save it all.
Get caught up with the vampires all night long.
Travis Manson
and
guys,
friends.
Show up to the Ike Live after party. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time.
And we'll be out at least 3 nights.
Yeah. In addition,
no.
In addition, and now that you're here, you could talk a little more on it. But Bash U and Ike Foundation, big presence at the Classic. Ike Foundation's got their own booth.
Yeah, we've got our own booth.
Tell everybody a little bit. What do we got going on? We're doing kids tackle box giveaways again and all kinds of stuff.
We are doing kids tackle box giveaways every day. So we're going to be at the AFCO booth on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be handing them out from the Bass Cat booth. We'll be announcing all those times, but Mike will be there to help hand out the tackle boxes, do autographs at the booth. We always let kids paint baits. We'll hand out information about the Ike Foundation, everything we're doing. But just a reminder, all of you out there, our basket auction ends this Sunday. So we were unable to have our scholarship dinner, so we're having to do a basket fundraiser through 32 auctions. Anybody from all over the country can put in for winning the basket auctions. If you head to either our website or our Facebook page, you can get the link, either that or it's www.32auctions.com/the Ike Foundation. I'll get you there. There's so many chances to win.
What kind of baskets we talk about?
We've got women's baskets. We've got men's baskets. We've got fishing baskets. We have Drunkwood. I don't think you can see it in the camera. But we actually have the fish sitting here in the studio. You could win the fish. They're awesome. Listen, entries to the Pro-Am. We've got so much stuff. It's amazing. Guided fishing trips. Yep.
Yes.
So cool. And I have to be honest.
Is anybody going to win a Peak Lusick trip this year that they'll never get?
Hopefully.
I mean, Rich took his guy out.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I'm doing it again for the Ike Live basket, I believe.
Right? I think it is in there, isn't
for the
it?
Ike Live basket.
Heck
and I'm actually going to be home this summer. I'm not going to be all
You get
over
to
the
take
place.
somebody fishing?
Yeah.
I never got it. I'd take somebody fishing.
Yeah.
We ain't going nowhere, but.
Well, it's on the
You
flats
get to
of
go
the
to
river.
Brian's
garage.
Yeah,
Yes.
go to Brian's
Better than a
garage
fishing trip.
and Beakley's.
What's
Beakley's.
And the
Beakley's?
Don't
pennant.
worry about it.
The Pennant.
Pennant East.
And Sanctuary.
Anyways, but please.
God.
The old Sanctuary. not
Listen.
the other
Old Sanctuary,
Sanctuary.
yeah.
But I am asking everyone, please go check out the baskets. They're amazing. Some of these baskets only have a couple tickets purchased, so it's like you and 10 other people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's a sure
like
thing.
You know what I mean? Like the odds are so good, but all the funds, all the proceeds are going to the scholarship fund. We're trying to make sure that we can still award those 5 scholarships this
You know,
year.
Brian,
so.
if Brian bid on one and there was just 10 tickets and Brian bought 9 of them,
I'd still lose.
he'd still lose.
This is a fact.
Well,
No, he'd win the Longwood Gardens basket.
I would. I would. It would be worth less than what I paid.
There's some lovely ladies' baskets, Brian. and we know
that's-
your wife wins. She always wins.
Yeah, and when my mom gets me something for my birthday or whatever, it's something for her.
I don't even understand how that works.
It's a gift card for somewhere that's like
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yes. All right, fuck it.
I don't want nothing from there.
I don't want nothing from no
All right,
one.
Brian, let's take a
Swing
little
alone,
break.
be in the
Let's take a
garage.
little break. When we come back, we'll get Suchan. We're going to talk a little more about the Classic. Hope you're having fun tonight. Hang in there with us. When we come back, more Ike Live.
You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. You know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. We're proud of it.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
4.5-inch drop shot worm. Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J. Give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today.
Back, I'm right.
Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
It's more than who you are. It's who you're with. And it's more than what you do. It's where you do it. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
And
it's the best one.
Folks, we're live.
Just doing a shameless Abu plug right here.
I love it.
By
Shameless.
accident.
Shameless. Folks at home, welcome back to Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday night. I know we are. We're having a good time tonight. We got a little classic. What do you call this, Brian Carpenter? Classic pre-show?
I don't know.
Little the predictions.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah.
We're talking about the classic, man.
Yeah. Prequel.
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 Full.
Full. Did you understand anything we just said?
Nope.
I don't either. Want to remind you, Ike Live brought to you by some great sponsors: Mystery Tackle Box, Founders, Tin Cup, Ike Foundation, Bass University, all kinds of great companies that support the show. By the way,
don't pay us nothing.
Who?
Bass don't pay us nothing.
That's all right. We like Bass.
Actually, we support them.
By the way,
Come
we
see
are
us. That's
drinking
same with Ike Live.
all day IPA tonight, Brian.
Yes.
All day hitters.
It's tasty as ever. All Day IPA is the beer of choice tonight.
Green cans.
Let me also remind you, this is your last chance. If you're watching via a Facebook, whether it's through the Ike Live Show Facebook page or hopefully through the Bass Share, if you like and share this feed, that's all you have to do. Like and share the feed. We're going to enter you into a chance to win the world-famous Ike Live gift bag. It's 23 pounds of fabulous sponsor products in there. This could all be yours. Just like and share the feed.
It's a flats bag.
That's right. It's a flats bag. Beck, what you doing over there? Looking at auction items?
Yeah.
You going to bid on something?
Shopping for
I'm
Gucci.
not allowed to win.
Oh, you're not allowed to win. So that would be bad.
Shopping for Gucci.
Yeah. I do before we get Such on. I do want to. I do want to say this, and when we get him on, it's the first thing I want to talk about with him. But let me say this before we get him on. Riz, let me get your take on this one.
All right.
When it comes to the biggest event in the world, for bass fishing, the Classic is it. Would you agree with that statement?
Oh, 100%.
It is, right?
Even like when things were kind of getting weird with the split and guys moving over, it's still just the Bassmaster colors and the Bassmaster music and just everything. That's what hits home.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
and the Bass Live crew.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So it's
seriously.
It's everything.
It's the World
right?
Series of bass fishing. It's the Super Bowl. It's whatever you name it. Like it's the one you want. It's the trophy you want to have.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the biggest tournament in the world.
Changes your life.
It changes your life. And I think a lot of it has to do with the history behind the event. You know what I mean? Like, because when I think about the Classic, I a lot of times think about when we were young and, like watching it on TNN back then or getting the magazine.
With Gabriel.
With Gabriel, my son.
It was hot.
And it's hot.
Sweaty.
And Donna was there. But the history,
Turn the heat up.
The history behind that event, I think, is what makes it the premier tournament in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to recreate the Bassmaster Classic, and that's just the fact. The Classic's the Classic. It'll always be like that,
But there's still all the feels. Like, you can't replace that energy and the people being there in this arena and the sound and the energy and an angler comes in on his rig and how everybody feels and that huge jumbo screen. Like there's I know that you guys are talking about the history and everything, but there is no event that even comes close to what that is to the fans.
Right.
And that experience to be there and see it and to be with their favorite anglers.
So it's the confetti for you.
Yeah.
No, but it's a combination of the two is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And
like
the expo and just it's like everybody there is like everybody's a fisherman.
Yeah.
You know?
You can have there's no other tournament that's a tournament with the top guys, but also what it is. It'd be like there's other people having football games but without spectators. You know what I mean?
Right.
That doesn't make it the Super Bowl.
Right.
Right.
You know, like you have to have both those pieces. You have to have the anglers and you have to have the fans and that energy.
All the other elements with it. Yeah.
And Zona saying Such.
Yeah, and Zona saying Such is important. But even the Classic Expo, I think, has become a key part of that week too. Because like I remember my early Classics, the Expo wasn't as big back then, but the Expo now is becoming a launching pad for products, for brands, for like honestly the Classic's almost more important than ICAST for launching stuff, so the Classics
because the consumers are at the Classic.
Right.
Yep.
ICAST is only industry.
Yeah.
So
it's just a big deal. I think it's one of the biggest events in all of fishing.
Glad it's back.
And
glad,
for sure.
Glad we're doing this kind of stuff again.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's get Such around. You want to get Such on?
He's sitting right here.
He's sitting right here.
Been looking at him.
All right.
Why aren't we looking at him?
I have no idea.
Let's get him on right now. I really want him on the show.
I feel like we need to do a shot.
We should do a shot.
Like for Such?
You want to do a shot with
like
Such?
You won't give us Such
Such
until we take a shot, or is he doing it with us?
Such, you got a shot?
A shot? Shot.
He's got a shot of something. All right, hold on. We all have shots here.
Let's go, Such.
Good.
Let's go. All right, this one's the Such. Such, we miss you. We love you. We're very excited to have you on the show tonight, and we can't wait to talk to you. To you, Such.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm going to have a little sip here.
So, Such.
To Such!
Ike and Becky.
How you doing tonight, man?
Brian Carpenter said I had to have a beer to be on the show.
It's required.
That's right.
It is.
Mandatory.
So, Such was here.
I know. I was there, and I recall.
Yeah.
He was
and
here
Becky,
for that Ike Foundation.
Becky, I got
Yeah.
I got the pin for you. Yeah, that tournament was amazing, incredible down there. little sketch going through Camden at 6 in the morning. People walking around like they've been out there all night or all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
We call that a metropolitan wake-up, man. We're used to that.
Just a few urban
people
campers.
wearing, trash bags on their feet walking through town.
Yeah. Now that's
it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Why were you there?
Why were you in that?
I've been there for 50 years. I've never been there.
My feet were cold.
I got you.
Feet were cold and GPS was wrong. But it's funny though. What you just said was a lot of people when the elites came here in 2014. I still remember. I can hear the crying. I can hear. People saying,
I've never driven in traffic before.
Oh, my God, the traffic. Or, oh, my God, I saw a black person. Or, oh, my God, like they were freaking out. Like,
what's the deal with Wawa?
Yeah, Wawa. Oh, Wawa was scary. I saw Glusick behind Wawa getting a Hummer,
No, there was
Getting in a Hummer, you mean?
Yeah.
There were a lot of wives that reached out to me because they were scared to drive into Philly, and then they found out there was the ferry from the Camden side over, and they're like, well, I looked and Camden has one of the highest murder rates in the country. I said, well, don't go to the hood, just go to the waterfront.
That's right.
Like, don't get lost.
Yeah,
don't stray off the yellow brick road.
Once you got in the park in the marina, there was awesome.
That's right.
You always had the water to escape to if you needed it. As long as you could swim, you're all right.
You don't stop at stop signs, and you treat red lights like they're stop signs. That's how you drive.
Nobody cares.
There's suggestions.
There's suggestions. Such, we were talking right before you came on the enormity of the Classic. Like the Classic's the Classic. It's the biggest event. It always will be. Expand on that for us. What does the Classic mean to you? You've been covering this sport for a long time now. There's other championship events out there. There's other leagues, but the Classic is the biggest event out there. Tell me about that. Why?
Well, my first one, I was truly amazed getting there, 2007, and just getting in and seeing. Who knew that there was that kind of hoopla and organization around a bass fishing tournament? I mean, to be there in front of it. I mean, I've seen the videos, and I worked at the newspaper when we were, Mark Davis went in '95, putting them on the front page of our Arkansas newspaper I worked at, but to be there and to see the organization put a celebration of the sport, that monstrosity of an event.
Yeah,
think of how many people put that on and how many people come. I was just blown away. Just I remember Gerald Swindle up there, and it's like, man, that dude, just him going off talking, that dude's the rock star, isn't he? Figure that kind of thing out. Yeah. You see the personalities, and they really come out, and just how they treat everybody in the anglers, and it really celebrates the sport of bass fishing. And they've been, doing it 53 years now, 54th year coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. And Becky
changed.
Yeah. Becky touched on it too. The energy level at the Classic, it's hard to describe it. You can get that same energy at other events, and I've been at elite events before where there's been a good energy, but there's something about that arena that lights up when those anglers start coming in. And unless you go to one, it's hard to experience it, right? You can watch it on TV. I remember watching Clun win in Richmond back. I think that was I can't remember, probably his last Classic win, the one he won on the James. And I remember watching on TV and having the hairs on my arms stand up, right? Like getting chills. But when you're in that arena and that energy, that car and that truck and that boat pulls in, and it's just electric. It's hard to even describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody fired up to bring their fish and know they got a chance to win that thing. The celebration, the fireworks inside, the light show, the pageantry of it. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I've been to a lot of sporting events, World Series championship, AFC championship games, things like that. Never been to a Super Bowl. And, high school, all kinds of sports and college championships. And the Classic, Bass puts on a pretty spectacular show when you think about all that goes in behind it and all the people working on it, let alone the TV shows. But the show in the arena is just incredible to be there. And so many people have been inspired to fish. That Classic deal, now I want to win that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Such, What's that jingling? What do you got?
What?
Classic pin. I'm bringing back the pin, Becky.
You hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
Sounds like he's
Sounds good though.
You got maracas?
You got maracas?
Maracas?
It's the microphone on your lapel.
Oh,
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, you have a Bassmaster guy on. This is what happens.
Chopping it around.
I like it.
All right.
It kind of sounds. It sounds like a little. It's like a little belly dancing jingle.
Tapping that thing, I'll get rid of that.
No, do a belly dance.
JM knows how to get rid of that noise. We don't.
Yeah. Yeah. JM's got real producers.
You got. Well, you got to
real tech guys.
Yeah, it's all my fault. Such, you got to steal some headsets from work. Come on, man.
At least he has a headset. Pete Glusick doesn't even have a headset.
Hey, Pete looks good there. You lose 10, 15 pounds there. Dye your beard. You look good there, Pete.
Pete.
10 to 15.
Sorry,
Pete,
Rich,
hell,
I'm messing with you.
That's at HGH.
115.
Such, that's HGH right there. That's
I was being nice.
All right, Such, putting you on the spot. This classic, when I look at, got my magazine the other day, which was cool, and you get the magazine, and I opened up that middle section and it had all the competitors right there on two pages. It was awesome. When I looked at that spread, it was a very interesting mix this year of what I would call newbies, what I would call young anglers, and then what I would call veterans. A lot of nice veterans on that list this year. When you look at that name, when you look at the list of names for this year's Classic, give me some of your favorites. Give me some of the ones that jump out to you as this could be the year. Oh,
gosh. There's so many great storylines. Hank Cherry winning 3 in a row would just be, a remarkable feat. And just he's already at legendary status winning back-to-backs. Only 4th person to ever do that. 7th person to win more than one. But to win 3 in a row, nobody's done it. So
right.
And then you look at the local guys, the guys who, unfinished business. Jason Christie would love to win. Brandon Cobb. I mean, look at some of these guys. Scott Martin would be an incredible story for him to, more unfinished family business there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting storylines. The local guys. What if one of these young guys, one of these, first year Classic guys come in and blow doors and win the thing? Ike, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't.
The chance of that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. When I looked at that list, it was hard for me to pick one. I mean, I think there's a few that you have to have on your list, but it was really hard for me to say, oh yeah, there's your clear winner. I couldn't really look at that list and say, there's your clear winner. We had Brandon Cobb on right before you came on, and for sure he's got to be in that top 5 list. You know what I mean? I would say the same.
Yeah.
I would say the same about Christie. I think he's got to be on your top 5 list. But let me ask you this, and remember, Such, this is Ike Live, right? So you got to be honest here.
Oh, I have to be.
You have to be.
And it stops you.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I know Brian already told you this in the pre-interview, but you can't lie like you do on Bass Live. You can't hold stuff back.
That's right, yeah.
You got to tell the truth here. All right? So I'm going to put you on the spot. We won't name any names. I won't put you on the spot like that, but I do want to ask you this, and you have to honestly answer. When I look at that list, there are a lot of guys that are really good dudes, and I'm not saying they're not good dudes. They're good people. I like them. They're good personalities, but, man, they suck on camera. They are dry as a bone. They are dry as a bone. Now, listen to me. Hear me out on this. Is it your worst nightmare to have one of those guys on as your final 5? One of the guys in the hunt, and and again, it's not their fault. They're just very blah. It's like watching a piece of wet cardboard catch a fish, right?
We've had Classic champions who they said that about, and I didn't think it was kind of an unfair jab that different people have different. Now, not everybody goes Ike. Everybody, screams, never give up, lays on their back and kicks their feet and pumps their fist.
But I mean, but like,
most
like
country guys are more quiet and subtle.
You said that. I didn't say that. You said that. Now you're stereotyping.
I think that.
But here's what I want to know. Like like I watch like the CIA movies, like where they're guarding the president and they got that little piece in their ear, and I know you guys are wearing that shit, you get that little piece in your ear. Is Mike McInnes in the back?
No.
Like, is he in the back like, oh shit, cut this guy off, he sucks? Come on.
No. He doesn't say he sucks. I wish he'd be a little more active. As long as they catch fish, I think that's what he likes the most.
Okay.
Bringing fish in the boat. Because you got all kinds of fans. There's fans who say, "Oh, Ike's a little over the top for me," and you know that.
Yeah, I know.
You're polarizing. You have people who say, "Man, I love his enthusiasm," and other people who say, "Oh, he's a bit too much." Those kind of guys.
I know. It's just hard.
I think he implied that the country guys think you're a bit too
much.
much.
I know. A lot of people do, and I get that. I get that. But
even some city folks.
Even city folks. Everybody thinks that too much. But here's
even his wife, when he laughs the first time during the show and blows her ears out.
Oh, dude, thank you, Such. I'm sorry for yelling. Oh my God.
Now you just did it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Such, please expand on that.
But here's the thing. No, don't expand on it. Here's the thing. Like I as a fan, when I'm watching it, I don't know how. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, but dude, when I see a guy catch a 5-pounder in a tournament like the Classic and show no emotion, I can't physically even understand how that is possible.
It's unrelatable.
Me neither. You would think the chance to etch your name. You're one of 40 guys who have ever won the Classic, a Classic.
Right.
To etch your name on that trophy, that heavy trophy that you get to try to lift up, is just something super special. 40 men in the world, in the history of pro bass fishing, have done it. That's it.
Yeah.
You just get back from Mardi Gras. You definitely got beads in your pocket or something, Such.
No.
Am I the only one that hears this?
I hear it. I hear it.
I love it.
It's like a rhythm now.
It is. It's amazing.
I love it.
It's like a rhythm.
This is
I
my
like
favorite. Keep going.
I like it. All right. Such, you mentioned it.
How was Mardi Gras?
The names themselves are part of the story this year, but give us some other stuff. So if we've got a lot of guys watching and listening right now that don't know a lick about Hartwell, don't know a lick about the time of the year that we're having this tournament, what are some of the other variables? What are some other storylines that are going to be important this coming week?
Well, weather is first and foremost. And it looks like you guys have already hit that we're going to have some steady weather.
Yeah.
And I think, Cobb talked about the lake level being up or down, and we don't have the dog fennel this year. That, I actually just interviewed Neil Paul, who's the executive director of Visit Anderson, helps bring the tournament there.
Yeah.
Right. We got the boat
Great
you guys
guy.
didn't want.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, we did.
And he was telling me, the lake's up a little bit, and then just the facility and the green pond and the storyline. Do you remember Ike in the coldest one? It was 9 degrees.
Yeah.
Started up in the helicopter, and then I got on day 3, followed you around when it was just frigid. It was awful.
Oh yeah.
And you would fish for 5 minutes on a spot, make 3 or 7 casts, and then leave and go to another spot. We followed you around all day, and the camera boat driver and the other worker was hey, let's go in. It's almost check-in time. I said, now what if he catches the winning fish? You were that close. But it was miserable.
Rich,
so
I'm sorry, Such. Rich was saying the noise was in studio. I just had everybody's mic off but yours, Such. So.
I'm not creating some noise.
No, it's great.
No, we love it. We love it. No, it was ice cold, that tournament. In fact,
is that the one where we camped and the hoses froze?
That was the same one. Yeah, we were camping in that event out at the lake, and it was so cold that the water lines froze.
Oh, nice.
We had the water running the whole time, and it got so cold that they froze.
Pipes burst.
Nothing burst.
It was cold.
The water lines froze. That's for sure.
It was cold. How much does history impact these kind of events, Such? Because, this is a location where we've had 3 classics before. Is that going to impact this tournament, the way people fish, the way decisions are made? Or do you think these guys are going to have an open mind and fish totally different?
Well, you would hope they go in there fishing the moment, like you've espoused. Look what's in front of you. Look at the conditions. Figure it out. Like Brandon Cobb just said, I may know too much about this. Like there's several other guys who may know a little bit too much about Hartwell that will hurt them. But in 15, when Casey Ashley won, knowing a lot got him to that brush, that cane pile he said was no bigger than a size of a football, and he caught his winning fish off of that.
Yeah.
So, knowing the lake is really key. You've heard storylines of who's been there practicing, and in December, things have changed. There's 3 foot of water since they practiced in December at least.
Yeah.
There's different grasses from last time they were here. Even the elite, it's a little bit different conditions. And you'd hope they'd go in with an open mind, assess the situation and the temperature rising and probably the water temperature, right? I heard the water was 55 there a couple days ago. So I don't know. I haven't been there,
It's gonna
but
be warm.
Wow.
I think the sun gets a little bit higher. I think what might be happening then.
Probably.
I got to ask you a question. How you would approach with the conditions you see, the water being up a little bit, how you would practice for this event? Because I know, in 15, it was just you're looking for your deep spots and those 5 bites. You said, I need 5 bites.
Yeah.
You almost won.
I honestly think I would practice a lot like that. I think a lot of the anglers are looking at that forecast. A lot of the anglers are thinking these fish are going to be shallow and they're going to go shallow, and I think a population will.
Yep.
But in my opinion, I would fish deep, and I would fish on the lower end of the lake. That's what I would do. And I've had two other times there where I almost won doing that, and I would continue with that. If I could make that work, that's what I would do. And I really believe that the biggest fish live out most of the year. They come to the bank in a very short window.
Yeah.
But I mean those big largemouth and big spots, they live deep. They live in that lower end. I would commit to that. I would put a lure in my hand that catches big fish, a big jig.
So stay deep to try to find the bigger groups.
Stay deep.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the pressure that you're going to have up shallow.
On the bank, it's more onesie twosies, and when you're off, you can get the groups.
Stay out. That would be what I'd do.
You got a pretty good record. I think you got like 11 top 10s in classics. Is it something? Let me ask you that. Well, I know it. The biggest tournament of your life, but how much time does an angler spend thinking, researching, checking levels and this and that and historical events on there coming into a Bassmaster Classic?
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think anglers prepare differently. Like we just talked to Brandon Cobb that said he spent 6 hours on the place and hasn't looked at a single piece of material about what's going on at Hartwell. Then you have the opposite, like me, that wants everything, looking at paper maps and want every article ever written, and so you have that gamut, but man, here's the important distinction and why I think a Hank Cherry is so good at classic events. Right now, I put it on Hank. Is Hank's very confident, and Hank's not afraid to zero to win, and in that tournament. You have to let go like that, and
it's such a hard mental space.
It's hard mental place, but I love that about the Classic. Such, we were talking earlier, before I left Bass, when I was with Bass all those years before the split, the pressure was unbelievable to keep that Classic streak going. It almost was so bad that I didn't want it anymore. Like it was driving me nuts. Mm-hmm. And I think the Classic for me all those years was a savior event because the only thing that meant was number one, and I was able to let go of being consistent and trying to catch a limit. And
right.
I think you have to have that attitude.
It's not a points race.
It's not a points race.
Just
It's not
win
a
or
points race.
GFY.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think Hank is really good at gaining confidence in what he's doing and going for the win and not being afraid to zero. I think that's why he's won 2. I think Jordan was like that. I think a lot of those guys, Kevin, is very good at doing that in those championship events. So
Jordan's never had a care in his life.
It's true. That's true.
Well, having the knowledge of the fishery, though, helps you go in and say, I'm all in on this. If this works, I could win.
Yeah.
That's the key. when do you know you're going to win a tournament? I mean, you talk to all these guys afterward, and they say, "Man, I had no idea in practice." Buddy Gross, John Cruz. Yeah, just something happens on the water. You figure it out better than everybody else.
Yeah,
that's what's really interesting about bass fishing. I mean, it's not this guy should win because he's the best angler. No, you know, that doesn't always happen. I mean, you know, it never happens. Right? They're all of almost equal skill, and it's the knowledge that they've gained, and just maybe finding something somebody else didn't, stumbling on something somebody else did.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes. Like,
can be.
You show up to a lake or you
Damn
haven't been on the water in a while, and you're like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just going to do what the fish tell me.
Can be.
Go fishing.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
like
right.
I wouldn't know.
I got to ask you something else.
Oh,
go ahead, Such.
Now I did it. I've done a number of stories on you. That's my main gig at Bassmaster, writing features. And you know, I asked you about
and maracas
and maracas,
and maracas,
Maracas.
and about coming back to BASS,
Got a little
and, you know,
change in my
fishing
pocket.
all 3 of the opens and the Northern Series and qualifying. You know, and you said, well, the decision will come down the last week, and then we wrote the story. You did the Ike Live, come down to the you know, last weekend at Gettysburg that you kind of really did. You know, but I think I asked you if you had looked at the Elite schedule for the year, and you said you had in the first story, and that kind of gave me a clue that he's really seriously thinking. When did you know? I know you say you juggled the decision, but when did you? I kind of think it was earlier than that last weekend that you said, "Yeah, I want to go back to bass."
I think it was
Was
this
it?
week.
It was this week.
It's this week.
It was this week. Yeah, it was this week when I got back from the first 2. Yeah. No, it was. I would say that we thought we knew what we were going to decide leading up to that week at Gettysburg. Like, there were enough things that came from sponsors and from fans and from the
family, sponsors, yeah.
The sketch. There were enough things that were pointing toward going back. But honestly, that last week at Gettysburg was honestly the deciding factor. And you got to remember, too, it was the week Aaron passed that week. Like, I remember we were there, and I want to say
honored him on the show.
Yeah, I want to say it was like a Tuesday that Aaron passed. And, you know, like, I remember us the next couple nights sitting by the fire. And so this decision was looming, and then Aaron passing was looming in our heads. And I think, honestly, that was even part of the decision, because it was almost like, you know, it was like, man, I have this opportunity. Life is so short.
Right.
Here it is. You're being smacked in the face by it. Go back. Go back, you know. And I think that was honestly the deciding factor that week, you know. So I mentioned it, you know, coming on the show. It felt really good to be back last week. Honestly, felt great to be back. But there were elements last week, especially after that first St. John's tournament, Such, where I wondered for a few minutes if I made the right decision, you know, missing home.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I want to bust myself on the first day at St. John's. I look down the leaderboard. I see myself as kind of the community newspaper reporter to Zone and Ronnie and Tommy to get other guys' names in it. And I like, boy, this is kind of surprising that you didn't catch them that first day. And it's Mike Iaconelli's return one fish, 1.5 pounds or 110 or whatever it was.
No, didn't catch him the first day doing what I thought I was going to do, and didn't catch him the second day just going fishing. So it was pretty disheartening. But it did feel good to be back and catch him a little better in the second one. And I got a little momentum train that I'm going to ride here the rest of the year.
But I think the universe works in mysterious ways
it does.
too.
It
I think
does.
I think the universe, it's like people try. I mean, how many years do people try to get in through the opens, and they try over and over. And Mike did it 1 year and he got in. So and I always tell him, I'm like, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, because apparently he's a really good angler. So I guess he should be out here and this is what he should do for a living. It's just exhausting on me, selfishly, you know, sometimes. But it's what he's good at, and therefore he should be here. But I think it was almost like, had this great opens year, jumped right back into the elites. Like, this is awesome, want to be there. And it was almost like this, eye-opening moment where it was like, well, are you going to crumble? And are you going to be like, oh, crap, I'm old, this stinks, and I'm just going to suck it up this year? Or are you going to say, wow, I literally just got kicked in the nuts, and now I got to come back. And I got to prove to everyone that
really
I do still deserve to be here. So I think that it was a moment where you had to make that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picture from my team at Harris Chain. When else are you going to get Mike Iaconelli in Group E?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I love it. I love it. Such, we got some, we've had our IMs open here. And I think we got some questions. Jake, you want to pass a few on? What do we got?
Such, how you making out in your fantasy? Ronnie Moore wants, R. Moore wants to know.
How do you know that's Ronnie?
I'm jinxing myself now. I'm leading the BAS group of whatever 30 people. I don't know about. I'm a little bit ahead of Ronnie. I've been consistent, but I haven't had my under 1,000 tournament yet, which I usually do have 2 or 3 times a year. Of course, in drain the lake, Ronnie caught a big time in the last tournament. I think he loaded it though, and I'm loaded at the Classic. I mean, I got Cobb, Christie, Cherry, Scott Martin, several of Prosnick. You know, I'm kind of loaded in the Classic for Drain the Make.
Here's my sleeper pick. If you're watching right now or listening, you want a little fantasy sleeper pick.
Okay.
Taco Ito.
Ooh, Taco,
as my sleeper pick.
For sure.
For Hartwell. Taco Ito.
Heard that.
You can finesse them.
Yeah, a lot of shaking going on by those Japanese anglers. A lot of shaking. Heavy shaking of the rod tips, folks.
Moving.
All right, Jake, what do you got? You got any for Such coming through? What do you got?
I got a good one coming from Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan? Okay.
Shaka Khan.
Looking at the superstars of the sport, looking at the Swindles, the Iaconellis, guys like that you know had made their name. Such, do you see anyone that has that X factor coming in this year? A lot of new names. Is there anyone that could follow in those footsteps?
Good question.
They could catch them and got a personality.
Man. Oh, wow. That's a good question.
That's the thing to put it all together. That's what these guys have done to, you know, there was a list of the elites who had the biggest social media following, and it was a guy, I think it was both those two, Ike and Swindle, were way up there on the social media because you're a fan favorite. And man, it's kind of early on a lot of guys. You know, Taku learned some more English, but the fighter is gaining popularity with an AOI. I mean, come on, there's several others who are a little more dynamic than others. I'm not going to name any names right this second, but we'll see how they pan out. They got to catch the fish. There's one guy told me after the defection, he said, so here's where he came into the studio when he had the big media thing and said, this is where it all happened. So you're going to make us stars. And he turns and said the key phrase, if we catch the fish. And that's always the key. You got to put it two together. You know, it's always the marketing and the personality and catching fish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to go together. It is definitely a combo. Yeah, Brian, what do you got?
Such, you brought up fighter. And we talked about this earlier. What's the you guys got a bet going on amongst the Bass Live crew? The over-under on fighters AOI speech?
I'm calling 5 minutes. I'm calling 5 minutes. I call 5 minutes.
5 seconds?
Yeah, long. 5 minutes.
What's he going to say for 5 minutes?
I don't know. All right, 3.5.
Bang a couple darts.
I mean, you ask him like technique stuff, he'll go, but
I don't know.
Other than that,
maybe not.
It depends. I think he's been thinking on it for a while, so he'll probably run down his season and give us. I'm saying over 5 minutes, but we don't have a bet on it yet.
Oh, pick it up. Come on, man.
Do you guys have somebody from Bass that's working with Taku on his English?
Not to my knowledge.
They do. His name is Sego.
Sego. I was curious because in the first event of the year, Zona asked Taku what his Super Bowl pick was, and Taku proceeded to talk about how much he liked Florida Bass.
I like Florida Bass, yeah.
After a Super Bowl question.
Yeah, I was going to ask when Zona asked who I got out of these 2019 guys coming in. I want to say, I like the Rams.
Yeah.
The Bengals are my, heart favorite, though.
4:30.
Taku's answering. We love him. We had him on the live show.
Sego's great. I've had to, not had to, but did several stories on the Japanese guys' Christmas in Japan, which was pretty interesting. They dress up Colonel Sanders as Santa Claus. It's pretty funny. And the big thing is they get a bucket of fried chicken and I think it was Yusuke who said my family wasn't, my mom didn't, but she baked a chicken. You know, we didn't get the good fried chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken, because there's a bunch of them. And I think awesome. Somebody, who was it? Was it Shin or Shin Iobi sent me a photo of him in front of a Santos stand, they called it. It was Colonel Sanders' statue with a Santa Claus outfit on it. It was pretty funny.
Wow. Wow. That's phenomenal. Who knew?
That's hilarious.
That is great.
And Christmas isn't the same. Big thing is New Year's, where they have an envelope of cash or something at their bed when they wake up as kids.
Why does anyone?
But Sego's great for translating. That's where I was going. That Sego, got me in touch with these guys and really told me what they were saying.
Sego was on the couch at the old studio.
Sego was on the couch,
right? In between Cliff and Marizo.
Yeah. Sego was here on the show for sure. Yeah. All right, Such, we really we cut you a break this whole interview, and so that wasn't going to last the whole time. You knew that. So I do want to.
Come on, Such.
We gotta talk about something controversial here, and
Oh, we do.
We have to, and remember again, keep in mind this is Ike Live. You got to be honest here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and I'll let you know how I feel, and then I want you to answer it honestly too. And
no, Zona does not wear pants when he's in the Northern Studio.
Oh, man, you jumped.
Is that what
jumped
it?
No, that wasn't it. So, this year, one of the competing leagues, Major League Fishing, decided to schedule one of their events directly on top of the Classic.
It was an accident.
Let me tell you,
they didn't know,
and I can be honest because I don't care anymore. They directly did that on purpose, and I honestly feel like it was the most disrespectful thing.
I would think dickheaded.
Dickheaded, it would be a word, but I was just going to say disrespectful thing
dickheaded
that they could have ever done. I think it's degrading to the sport. I think it's degrading to the history of the sport, and most of all, I think it's wrong for the anglers, right?
About the fans, dude.
And the fans.
There's 100 anglers. There's thousands of fans that are being drawn in two directions.
Who want to see those anglers and come to the expo. The expo is the biggest fishing show for the consumers to come to. You see people walking out of there with 4 rods for $100 and reels and all kinds of gear, and that's when you sell some product and you have your anglers at their booths. I mean. Yeah, that's.
I mean, what's your
lot of foresight, is it?
Yeah, what's your take on it? Because I mean, that to me, it's just the whole thing's wrong. I still can't even. I can't believe that the anglers agreed to that. It's hard for me to believe.
Do you think they had a say?
Well, I don't know if they had a say.
I think they did,
but they should have a say because that league was created that they had a say. And
hey,
and
I got a question from a message board from Jay Crussell from St. Louis, who says, doesn't really get the defection. What was the main purpose? And was it mostly of FOMO, a fear of missing out, or what was the real reason?
Yeah, I mean, the quick version to that is the real reason was we were at a stage where the anglers wanted to have more say, wanted to have more control of their own destiny. You know, if you look back at the history, those last 5 or 6 years with bass, you know, there was a lot of things happening where the anglers felt like they were wronged. And, you know, a lot of the anglers thought this was a new start where they had a change where they could control their own destiny and be a part of the process. That was the reason it happened. And that never really materialized, but I think it was good. You know, I think it was good that it happened because I do think that I think that Bass realized what was going on and changed a lot of things and fixed a lot of problems. And I think it had to happen, right? It had to happen. And I think we look back on it 20, 30 years, it was going to be a good thing for the sport. But in saying that, I don't think it ever really materialized the way that a lot of the anglers thought it was going to happen. But
reminds me of The Godfather when they say after one of these big massacres, every 5-10 years, something like this has to happen. It gets rid of the bad blood.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But
I don't know.
There's something to that.
Yeah. But was the MLF totally wrong by doing that, Such, or were they okay?
It was dickheaded.
You're not making more fans. You're not expanding the sport. No, they can do whatever they want. Bass, when that happened, there was some nervous times around the office. BASS, Bruce Aiken, Chase Anderson, they circled the wagons and said, "We're moving this way. We're moving forward. We're staying Bass class. Let's go. We're going to do what we do." And round of the circle started the media plugging these guys, making new stars, like I said earlier, and you can see how it's turned out. Fox Sports on the weekends, Fox Sports 1. Bass is doing pretty well.
Yeah,
I want to jump in just for 1 second to this, and you know what? I'll be the hang boy if I need to for this. I had no idea there was an MLF tournament scheduled on top of the Classic.
Same exact week.
How you going to be the hang boy? I called them dickheads. I'm the hang boy.
All right, yeah, you're the hang boy. But listen, this is what I'm saying.
We try to take my
spot. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody in this room knows me, and everybody in this room knows how much I love to fish and how much fishing means to me. I had no idea there was an MLF tournament on top of the Classic.
Right.
So what are the hardcore anglers really paying attention to?
Yeah.
There's 52 weeks in a year. You couldn't pick one other one?
Well, it was done on purpose. Here's the other thing. If I'm a sponsor, if I'm a major sponsor and I'm sponsoring guys that participate, in that league, but I'm also a sponsor of Bass, man, I'm pissed off.
And you're at the expo.
Yep.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
If I'm a Toyota or a Pure Fishing or a Rapala or whatever.
Or a fan of the sport.
Or a fan of the sport. And my guy's not going to be at the Classic because he's fishing another event.
Yeah.
I'm mad at that league.
It's messed up from
I'm
that
going to that
perspective.
league and I'm saying, are you freaking crazy? You can't schedule an event on the Classic. I need my guys at
They
this
could have been
booth.
at the Classic with their MLF jerseys on.
Right.
Like they were 2 years ago.
They could have been there with their MLF jerseys.
The Expo is as big as ICAST. That'd be
It
like
is.
putting a tournament over ICAST.
Yeah, why would you do it?
But from a fan's perspective, like, dude, I don't know. I don't pay attention to MLF. I had no I think there's a lot of guys that we're still only watching Bass.
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely wrong from the standpoint that all those guys are not going to be at the Classic and they're not going to be able to work the Expo, and like I think it kind of like speaks volumes to like when the split happened and everything happened the way that it did. Like it feels like Bass kind of kept its core group around and like its following, like and like it's still relatable for the everyday angler. Where I don't know, just seems to me like
because the everyday angler does what? Catches 5 bass a day.
Yeah.
Boat flips
brings
them.
them to away.
Exactly.
Body slams them on the
So
deck.
that sucks, man. That everybody else at MLF isn't going to be at that event. And honestly, it's news.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. And I think some of the anglers that I like and respect agreed with that because they're bought in. And I think they're missing it, man. I think they're missing the fact that, Mike, you're deep in the industry. You're looking at it from the angler's perspective, from the sponsor's perspective. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
But the bulk of it is the fans.
Yeah.
That's why any of this is legit. And
Yeah.
They're the ones getting screwed.
Yeah.
They're the one. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the biggest crime is those guys won't be there at that event.
Yeah.
You know, for the people. And it's
For the people.
For the people. Well, Such, here's the good news.
Such, shake your pockets.
Shake your pockets real quick.
Come on.
For the people.
For the people. Shake it.
Here's
the
the good news, and I know you already heard this, but we are having a Ike Live after party.
Yes.
Sunday night after the Classic at Barley, starting at 7 o'clock. Such, we want you there.
Such,
listen,
we've got
I
pin
know
the tail
you
on the
got
donkey.
obligations. I know you got contracts signed, this and that. But listen, we're going to be there
No
all night.
contracts.
Come by. Have a beer with us. Have a shot with us. Come on. Hang with the Such. Come on. You know you want to go.
Get your
Ike
breast
Live
painted,
after
Such.
party. Barley's,
It's
7 p.m.
2 blocks from
Greenville,
the hotel.
2 blocks from the hotel. You got no excuses. You got to be there.
Is it that close? 2 blocks?
2 blocks.
Well, the Champions Toast is when?
We're not
It's
at
7
the
as
hotel,
well?
Rich.
Oh, we're not at the hotel. We're staying 17 miles away. I forgot,
we're
Brian.
not trying to impede on that.
No. We always go after the Champions Toast. We would never miss the Champions
Oh,
Toast.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get in there, right?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
Such, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite. I appreciate
Yeah,
it. Thanks
you're
for the
welcome.
invite to the show. I appreciate it.
Just listen for the jingling. Sounds like the Ghost of Christmas Past, doesn't it?
It could be.
Am I jingling?
No.
Am I jingling?
That's not.
Nah, we got used to it for an hour of jingling. We're used to it.
I
now.
love it.
Feels right. Such, it was great having you on the show.
Oh, really?
Looking forward to seeing you. It's next week already. Isn't that hard to believe? Next week.
Right in Tuesday.
Isn't that hard to believe? It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't.
fast.
I'm in denial.
Yeah, and I want you to know that I'm looking to be the Classic champ this year. Not the Bassmaster Classic champion, but the Bassmaster Kayak Classic champion.
Let's go.
I'm looking to be the kayak champion this year. So
Lake Russell, right? Russell?
Lake Russell.
Not too far from
We're just going to
Right
keep
down the road.
adding to those titles of things that no one
Yes.
could beat him on.
That's right. I'm trying to put a mountain between me and Polinick. So
Nice.
the more I win, the more he can't catch me.
The mayor.
Yeah.
Good, Such, say something.
Yeah. Yep.
Is he frozen?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Are you leaving me? Are you ditching me? Or
Oh, we're looking for something monumental there.
Yeah, we're looking for a monumental word or statement or something.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I got it. I'm done.
All right. Such, we will see you next week at the Classic. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
You're the man,
All right,
buddy.
You're the man,
All
Suchi.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Take care, y'all. Mike,
Yes.
Hold on, let me leave him in
Brian.
Yes.
there. Such, hang in there. You just.
Just jingle around.
Yes. We'll put
Oh,
you-
my God.
I love the jingling noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right, what do we got? We got Jimmy Houston's dog coming on next. What the fuck?
That was awesome. All right, that was great. All right.
Fun.
That was fun having him on.
Oh, hell
He's always
yeah,
got great
man.
insight into what's going on in the sport.
I can't believe it took this long to have Such on.
I know.
Hold on, he's working on getting out of here. Such, we're here with you. Oh, he's gone.
Brian, why don't you hang up on these poor
That's
people?
no fun. Everybody, look, he's back. Such, everybody. And he's gone.
And
And he's
back. He's back.
He's back again.
Hold on. Yes.
The suit
Brian
of
told me to
Christmas
hang
past.
Never give up.
Never give up.
All right, Such, tell us a story.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Here's the great thing, though, dude. A lot of there's. And Such, since you're still here, I'm going to put you on the spot about this. Since you're still here,
Fucking
I'm going to put
producer
you
of
on
the
the
year
spot.
This
right
is
here.
the
dude.
worst show.
No,
this is the best
ever.
show.
No, this is the best
Best.
show. I'm going to put you on
You
the
don't
spot
even
about
know.
this. Here's the thing, dude. You got to admit, outside of Mark Jeffries put him on a pedestal because he was Bass
right.
Talk Live was one of the
There
first
he is.
ones. Put him on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Mark Rushmore.
Outside of Mark Jeffries, we got a pretty old podcast we're working on here. We got a
Yeah.
pretty old live podcast we're working on here. So flash forward to now, dude, there's like a million podcasts. Everybody and their brother has a dumb podcast now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of copying going on.
Well, because they watched
There's a
this
lot-
show and they realized anybody could
Right,
produce
anybody
a
can
You're
podcast.
right. You're right. When they saw me do this, like, oh, I could do that.
There's a lot of copying going on,
true.
dude. If you
That's
look
true.
at the body of podcasts, you see skits that are very similar to ours. You see guests that are stolen from our guest list. Blah blah blah. You see a lot of
Do
things.
people do skits like
Oh yeah,
this?
people
Nobody-
do skits.
Do
like
they
this.
dress up?
They
The
dress
Belmore
up, do a lot
Boys?
of stuff. You
Nobody
see a lot
does
of
skits
things.
and dresses up.
You see a lot of things stolen, but the one thing, Such, you do not see
Shitty
stolen
production.
is leaving our guest on even after we say goodbye. That is our trademark, and I'm very proud of that. Brian the Carpenter.
That takes talent.
That takes talent.
That's talent right there.
That takes talent.
The ability to do nothing.
Right.
Well, he's 5 or 6 beers into it tonight.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, that is
He
ours.
told me to hang on.
Right?
I was gone and said, hang on.
Wow.
Like, what do you want, producer?
See?
That's our producer's very, very good. he gives us all kinds of instructions.
Yeah,
especially when you're trying to
he's a tyrant.
Trying to say something, it's like 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, he's squashing creativity. A tyrant.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
This is way better. No boundaries. No defined lines.
Oh my God.
Just a big blob of shit right there. It's always better.
Oh my God.
Such, how'd you get started in bass?
We got more questions for you.
That's a great question. Go ahead, Such,
that's a
answer
great
that.
question.
The best is our guests never leave, though.
What do you got?
He's got another podcast.
His own podcast.
You son of a bitch. All right, Such, thanks for hanging
Everybody
out.
start a podcast. There is, I kind of have noticed that bass fishing, I wouldn't say overexposed, but in certain avenues, yeah, it's getting a lot of exposure and hits, and I don't have the time to watch everybody. Do you all? I mean,
No, but Such, but this is
keep
bass
up with
fishing
everybody.
because podcasts were popular 10 years ago, and bass fishing just caught on.
Well, webcasts, yeah.
Just caught on.
Yeah.
We need
Whatever.
the next. What's the next big thing? Because that's what we want to get on. The next big thing.
NFTs.
Oh.
NFTs
And crypto.
Crypto.
What the hell's that?
The metaverse.
Yeah.
I'm out,
Bitcoin,
dude.
We're all buying real estate on the metaverse.
The
I'm
metaverse.
You
out.
haven't started your NFT?
Did you download your DNA yet?
It's pixie dust,
I am
dude.
so out on everything you just said.
What are you talking about?
I think that's what everybody said about the World Wide Web when someone first said, we're all going to go on the internet.
Yeah,
The
interwebs.
interweb.
Yeah.
Nah,
let's just.
I'm out.
Let's stick to VHS.
It's got to hang a few
I got
more
my
years.
beta over here. All right, y'all. Becky, Mike, I appreciate you.
All
All right,
right,
thanks, bud.
all right, bye,
See you,
Such.
man.
Maybe.
I'm going now.
Yeah,
I'll be around.
we'll see.
This is
See
a-
you next week.
This is a maybe. You might be going.
Yeah.
We'll
All
see.
right. I'll run you down at your booth.
All right. That sounds good.
He found the
All right,
button.
take care.
All right.
Let's see.
All right, everybody. If Such is really leaving, we're going to do our MTB unboxing.
There
And
was
I wanna
no
let you know-
maracas the last time.
No.
There wasn't.
That was crazy. I don't know. Here was the thing. Normally that would bother me,
Yeah, I'd be
but I
tripping.
kind of liked it. Like, I really did. Like that.
I thought we had rattlesnakes up in here.
It was
we
a
did.
powerful change.
It sounded like you were shaking a freaking Spro Aruku shad over there by the boat. Yeah, exactly.
Sound like that. Brian Carpenter, we are the only live fishing podcast, speaking of a million of them, that do a live unboxing of a mystery tackle box. We're going to open up right now.
Do it.
And we've got our Elite box. Here's the other thing I want to say. Stop messing around.
Such.
Stop that.
Such is back, baby.
No, get out of here.
Where's Jimmy's dog?
No, go ahead.
I did want to say this. MTB is going to be at the Classic next
Oh.
week. So
Yeah.
if you're at the
Oh, nice.
Classic in Greenville, go by and see them. I'll be there for a little bit, hanging out too with these guys. So
By the way, Mike, you put together the conversation with KVD and KVD.
I did. That was
You
awesome.
made that happen.
Von
Yeah.
Divel and the real KVD. That was amazing. He won't be there this year because he's.
Stop.
Stop that.
Is that like a cicada? What was that?
Maracas.
No,
Okay.
no, Jay Tomlinson.
All
You
right.
don't bug me more than
All right, you know how this
anyone.
works, guys. We're doing a MTB unboxing. This is an
There's
Elite
wor-
box.
There's worse.
Is that
We're
what
going
I
to pick
think it is?
one lure and pass it on. Going to the left, Beck. Pick a bait. Give
oh,
it to
I
Rizzo.
have to get this one because of the name.
I love this part. Here I am. Been here since the beginning.
Yeah, Brian gets the last pick. as
I get the
usual.
last pick. A new guy, right in front of the line.
And if you've been watching for a while, you know that Brian complains about this
Every single show,
episode.
yes. Okay,
Damn,
I'm gonna,
do I?
All right,
Holy Alzheimer's.
all right, I'm going to go ahead and start. And this is the mystery
Drinking.
tackle box Elite that we're opening. And I want to show this to you, Brian Carpenter. This is amazing that this is in this box because this is a special.
Is that
cool
chatterbait?
bait. This is a chatterbait, but this isn't a regular Z-Man chatterbait.
What
This
the-
happens to be the Cross-Eye Z
What?
chatterbait.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. And if you look, this is a David Walker signature bait. Here's the thing I love about this one, Rizzo. Regular chatterbait with a weed guard, with a
Dude.
fiber Y guard on it. And here's what I want to say about this. Dude, if you're fishing open water or grass, regular jackhammer all day long till the
Yeah.
cows come home. Dude, if you're fishing around docks or wood, that little fiber guard, that little Y guard on there makes
Yeah.
a big difference. These things, without it, don't perform good around wood. You add that, you got a great wood bait. So I'm very, very excited that that is in the Elite box. I like that a lot. Beck, what do you got?
That's a fantastic bait right
That's
there.
a great bait.
Yeah, that's
It's
in
an
my
awesome
like throw this year bait is chatterbait around
Wood.
Hangable shit, yeah.
And this is the one. Cross-eyed
That's
Z.
it.
Beck, what do you got?
All right, so I grabbed this 13 fishing soft plastic, and I
Ooh.
grabbed it because the name of it is the Bubble Butt.
The Bubble Butt. Oh, that's you.
Bubble Butt,
Heck
Bubble
yeah.
Butt. So it's called Collard Greens.
Oh, I like the color. Yeah, that's the color. It's
I
collard
guess
greens.
is this the Bubble Butt?
The Bubble Butt's the worm, and the color is collard greens.
I know, but is it a
It's a-
Bubble Butt because of this little nubby tail
I
thing?
would say so. I
that
would
the
call
Bubble
I would
Butt?
call
Shape.
this a cross between traditional straight tail worm and a soft stick bait. Kind of falls somewhere in the middle. I like it with the bulbous tail on there.
Jeff Crete
Nice.
wants.
Oh wait, it's
like
hollow.
It's like a hexagon.
Oh, the tail's hollow.
Ooh,
Oh,
so
is
it floats.
Flotation.
Oh yeah, you feel that?
Oh,
Floats.
yeah.
The
That's
bubble.
bubble.
See, that's the bubble in the
bubble.
butt.
Bubble,
That's
bubble,
the
bubble.
bubble of the butt.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Very cool.
has
bait.
it's a bubble butt.
What are you gonna say?
Nothing.
Vagina?
No, it has a hole in the bottom.
Oh, it has a hole.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Riz, what do you got?
All right, I got a juicy jig, casting jig. It's a Ketchco collaboration, and it's a 3/8 ounce. And pop this thing out here. It's got a
Casting jig.
Yeah, I like the head design. I don't know if we were supposed to give this box away to somebody or not, but I
That's
opened
all
your jig. I like the head design because it's got a little flat spot on there.
Ooh.
And it looks really, really skippable.
Yeah.
And one of the things that every year after the end of the season, I kind of like assess the things I do and what I need to do more, is I realized I throw a 1/2 ounce jig all the freaking time.
Right.
And this is a 3/8. And
One of the
things that I want to do this year is get back into throwing the 3/8 ounce jig, putting that piece of plastic on there, because I ask myself when I'm fishing, I'm flipping. I'm always flipping a 1/4 ounce on a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Why the heck am I only flipping a 1/2 ounce jig?
Right.
Like I'm limiting myself. So this is a perfect little jig for that. It's a lead head jig. It's got a flat spot, really skippable, and the hook is not super beefy, but it's beefy enough that
mid-size hook. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna stick those fish and you're gonna hang on to them. It's got a good keeper there. And I like the skirt. I like the skirt consistency too. It's kind of got that thinner plastic rubber. So good looking jig. Yeah,
pretty nice. 3/8
juicy jig.
All right, juicy jig. Jake, Brian, and Carpenter, what do you guys got in the mystery tackle box? What are you looking at?
What you pulled that out of the box?
What are you looking at there, Brains? What do you got?
Got a jerk bait here. Jinky jerk bait.
Wow, that's a big jerk bait.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Jake, what do you got?
I got a Weston Shaddy Slim 3-inch. Looks like a good drop shot bait.
Oh, yeah.
Like a green clear.
I saw that in the box. I like that a lot.
Good little drop shot bait,
Yeah.
finesse.
Little
Something.
jig head, little finesse jig head, too.
Little
Yeah.
16th ball head, 1/8 ounce ball head.
Yeah. That might be the bait for Malaga, for the Malaga guy question.
Yeah.
Right there. 16th ounce ball head on that thing, you know? Catch more crappie and pickerel than anything else.
Ooh, this deal would be really good on a slider head.
Brian, how's that jerk
little
bait over there?
13.
Is it made out of oak?
Oak.
You can find that on 32 auctions.
The mighty oak.
32 oak.
Folks, look at this. That's beautiful, man.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Trunk wood.
Dinky.
Yo, you think that'll make it outside, Brian? We're thinking about putting one of those outside.
Why don't you put one behind me so I don't have a damn blank wall?
Well, why don't you win it?
Really?
Yeah.
If I win it,
$10.
I'm going to take it to my house.
Don't
My
forget,
house.
everybody, $30 equips a child with rod, reel, tackle box, and everything. So you should support the Ike
Yeah,
Foundation.
so when you go fishing,
Equip
they're
a
on your
child.
spot.
Yeah, seriously, do that.
I'm kidding back.
Let's get more kids involved in the sport of fishing.
And less adults.
This is shit that makes a difference.
Hey, you
is
know,
getting
we
a rod in kids'
talked about
hands.
this during the commercial break, but we didn't talk about it on the show. But the Ike Foundation is going to be announcing, because finally our permits all came through, but we're going to have a kids or a youth
League
tournament trail this
Right on.
year.
That's awesome,
Brought
man.
to you by the Ike Foundation, South
Yeah.
Jersey, and
Are they gonna
Delaware
win a boat?
tournaments.
Yep.
Bass Cat?
No.
Yamaha?
No, but in the Pro-Am you can, so you better sign up because limited spots for the Pro-Am.
June 5th. Come
June
on.
5th?
June
Let's
5th.
sign
Yeah,
up.
talk about
So
some
tell-
bags that are going to come across the scales.
Perfect time of the year.
Yeah.
Man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Even if you're out of state, sign up for that event because you can come out to the bay that time of year and just go where you see the boats and you're going to catch fish. So
Right. 10-pound
up.
Tommy caught him, right?
Yeah, 12-pound Tom.
12-pound Tommy. Yeah.
Won a boat.
Won himself a boat.
By
Poaching my spot.
Going out to the crowds, fishing the crowds.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a crowd.
Here's the
a couple of us, but
here's the thing I like about the youth league that the Ike Foundation is creating. And I said this before, but like if you look at other sports, you know, kids that are in that like let's high call it like 8 to 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of those other sports, if you look at like soccer, baseball, football, there's youth leagues everywhere. There's
coaches.
There's coaches. There's, you know,
French
tournaments. There's ways
Crazy
to get
parents.
involved. And in fishing, you don't really have that, especially in this area in the Northeast, right? You don't really have that. You have the nation and you have the FLW or MLF Federation, but this is an independent league, standalone league. Just trying to get kids together to be involved in competition.
Yeah, so we're doing it our own way so that we can help kids. These are going to be trolling motor only lakes. We're looking for volunteers. So anyone who's got a boat that wants to volunteer, we're going to have the tournaments pretty short. So you're only, you know, there for the morning on a Saturday, you know. But we need guys that are willing to take these kids out because a lot of kids don't have access to a boat. So we need the volunteers to help us. We're also going to be basically doing scholarships for a handful of kids that don't have equipment at all. We want to make sure the kids that don't even have the means to have the rod, the reel, the tackle, we're going to equip those kids, a handful of them. So this isn't, you know, Dad's got a boat, I know how to fish, and I'm going to go fish against people.
Right.
This is, we're going to teach you. We're going to have these volunteers that know how to fish. They're going to spend some time on the boat. They're going to help these kids. You know, here's how to cast. Here's, you know, we're going to teach you how to tie it on. This is what you're looking for. You want to cast at that, or you know what I mean? We want to teach these kids.
So what's is it? You know, bass only, artificial only? Are we expanding it to live bait to multiple species?
It's all artificial. It's all artificial. We're going to do it like a real tournament.
Nice.
But it's going to be a teaching style tournament.
Nice. That's cool.
I would recommend miscellaneous. We'll talk about it after the air. I mean, the adults have to do it in South Jersey, but we'll talk about it afterwards.
That's true. That's true.
True as hell. But yes.
Sometimes the miscellaneous does add a X factor to a tournament to like where if the bass fishing sucks or if you're personally not doing great, you're still in the running.
All right, I'm open to this.
Yeah.
Trophies.
We do it because we had to.
I got a question while we're on the X factor of tournaments. Mike, you're looking at a 93rd and 35th coming out of Florida.
Yeah.
Just asking questions here. Did you have any Becky sandwiches in the boat on that second tournament?
Special sandwiches?
Becky
No.
was in Jersey.
I didn't have any of her sandwiches. I'm hoping later in the year, you know, if you see my my finishes skyrocket in June and July and August, you know why.
Is Lambert on the board?
I plead the fifth.
Is Lambert fishing the Bassmaster kayak event? Did he qualify for
I don't
that?
know. Ask him because he's clearly on the board.
I don't know. So I saw a text from John Stewart the other day saying that we have a little over 100 kayak guys signed up for this tournament. So that's a pretty stout competition.
It is.
The lake's not like giant like Hartwell. So this ain't going to be an easy one to – it's not like it's going to be a cakewalk. Like I got to go down and do work and figure it out.
How much practice time are you putting in?
Just the official practice, 2.5 days.
How about it? 2.5 days.
Yep, all day Sunday, all day Monday, Tuesday till 2 o'clock, and then I have the meeting at 4.
You go do it like Lefebvre and get out in your bass boat and practice?
No.
No?
No, I'm doing it the right way.
So you go practice in a kayak?
Practice in a kayak.
Okay.
Yeah. Torpedo. Got a torpedo on there. It's going to help me. You know
that's kind of like Lefebvre then. Kind of cheating.
Not really.
I mean, it's a
those
torpedo,
are
Rich.
allowed in bass tournaments.
They are allowed in BASS.
Well, they're pretty phenomenal.
They are phenomenal.
If you're allowed to do it, I mean,
all right.
you can use it.
Yeah.
You're right. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's right.
And trespassing.
We ain't talking about using live bait.
Well, here's
it all out there.
Here's a good little exclamation point on a great show, and we asked a lot of our guests tonight who their favorites were. I want to go around the room. Bri, we're not going to end with you. This time we're going to start with you because you're complaining all the time. Give us your pick. You can only pick one. Give us your pick for the Classic next week.
John Cox.
John Cox. All right.
Wow.
Jake?
Wow. Is he in the Classic?
He's in the Classic.
Is he?
Sure he is. Sure he is.
Threw his name out there and you didn't
I thought
know.
I thought they cut him out.
They
No, he made it. He's in.
So somebody
He's
got
in.
COVID last year, and then somebody got COVID last year, and they allowed you to drop your lowest tournament. So he dropped the one he got DQ'd from, and he made the Classic.
Yeah, he's in.
All right.
Hold on a second.
Jake, who you got? I'm hoping somebody.
John Cox.
Well, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping somebody gets COVID this year so I can drop my 90th finish.
How do you feel about that? The new drop. You like it?
Well, they don't have a drop yet. Somebody gets
Somebody gets COVID.
Wait.
They
You have
drop
to.
it.
Someone has to have COVID for the drop rule. To,
I guess.
Somebody has to not make it to a tournament, which then allows everyone in the field to drop their worst tournament.
It'll happen probably.
So I might about
But
three-quarters of the way
Mike
through.
can't be the one to get the COVID because then
Right.
that would be
I
the
can't
drop
drop
tournament.
it. Right. But what I might do is I might pay somebody $10,000 at the end of the year to not go to the tournament.
Oh my God.
I'll pay him the $10,000. I'll give him a fake positive COVID test.
COVID.
Is this still a
Results.
thing?
Oh
Is
my
it still a thing?
I don't know. Who knows? All right, Jake, who do you got for the Classic?
I'll take Matt Airy.
Oh,
that's
that is a really good one.
Matt Herring?
Seriously.
Matt Airy.
Matt Airy?
Matt Airy.
I like that pick.
It's a
I
good
do
pick.
too.
It's a good one.
Jake Haas, everybody.
I got to go Christie. Jason Christie. He's
The one on YouTube? on our,
No,
on our
not
The
stream?
real one, the regular one.
With
the
203
real one.
followers?
Yeah, he. I
Yeah,
mean,
I like that pick, and I
Dude.
like that pick because I feel like he's got like a bone to pick with
Hartwell.
the Lake and the Classic
Yeah.
because he's had a couple where he's been close.
Yeah, and
I
if,
like
mean,
that pick.
warming trend, if they're going to be up shallow, I mean, he'll find some muddier water and he'll catch him the way he catches him. So.
Yeah,
Muddy
yeah.
water.
Beck, give it to us, Beck.
Go, Rich. Muddy
Beck?
water.
I think it would be really cool to see somebody win 3 in a row. So Hank Cherry would be pretty cool.
That would be way rad.
It would
That'd
be
be rad.
really cool to see 3 in a row.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and he's got momentum. He's got no pressure. He's
Yeah.
won 2 already. What does it matter? You
Yeah.
know? I like that pick. I like that pick. a lot.
You made 20 Classics in a row. What pressure was there? A lot.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I for mine, I really want to go Taco Ito because I like a guy and I think he is the wild card. But to play it safe, I want to go with our guest we had on tonight, Brandon Cobb. I think Brandon's a great. I think he's loose. I think like the way he was talking, he was like, yeah, I don't know. I might fish deep a little, might fish shallow a little. He's a spinning rod guy, which I like. I like that a lot. I'm going Brandon
They
Cobb,
eat
man.
the freaking worm on that lake.
Oh, they eat the worm. They eat the wacky rig. Like
Yeah, but he also
crazy.
didn't want to say too much. He didn't want to tell everyone how
I felt like he showed a little chink in the armor. He had a little like lack of confidence. He's like, it's my least favorite time, and I'm going to fish the entire lake.
I think he was just downplaying it.
Maybe. And I'm a big Brandon Cobb fan. I think he's,
Yeah.
he's like a,
Dude
like you
lives on
said,
water and
Aaron.
beer.
I felt like there's a little fighter in there. It's like,
Yeah. Well, I like
Decent.
it. I like it. They're all good
Go
picks.
again tomorrow.
They're all good picks. We'll see who
We're
wins.
forgetting about. I mean, you just said it, fighter. Like we're forgetting about that dude too. He's been one of the hottest guys in the on the fishing planet now for a couple years.
Yeah.
We could have a, we could
all
do a whole
depends
show
about
just
all
Classic.
depends on his dad's got the voodoo going again.
Yeah. Does he have
Voodoo.
rocks in the boat? I don't know.
I lit quite a few candles after the first tournament.
See?
Didn't he join the Freemasons the year before he won? AOY?
Seth?
Yeah.
Where's Brodzik when you need him? Damn it.
No.
Come on, Dave.
Dave, if you're listening and
He's-
watching right now, I need a
He's
handler.
not. He's worried about people fighting half a planet away.
Oh, yeah, he's stocking up his ammo.
So is it that serious?
For the Russians? Oh, yeah, they're bombing people and shit's going down. World War III coming up, bro.
What else? No.
All right, everybody.
All right.
If we finish it now, we did a show in less than 3 hours.
That's great. It was a great show. It was a great show. I, of course, want to thank you for watching and listening tonight. We talked about the Classic. It was really good. I want to thank our guest, Brandon Cobb, Mike Suchan, for coming on. Thank you guys for coming on. Want to thank our in-studio guests, Miss Rebecca, Rizzo, Jake, and Brian Carpenter. Thank you, guys. Also want to thank our sponsors. One last time before we sign out. Oh, yeah, Powerbait Paul. One last time before we sign out. Becky, the Ike Live after party, Sunday after the Classic, March 6th. Barley's.
Barley's.
Sometime after 7 p.m. We're going to
Let's
close
go.
the joint.
Yep.
Show up.
Facebook.
Have a Founders with us. It's going to be a good night. Thank you,
right.
everybody, for watching. Good night. We'll see you soon.
And Brenda, Brandon Stewart, Facebook, like and share.
Oh.
That was an impressive burp on cue.